Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Thursday, and it's the Thursday Think Tank. We haven't had one of these in a while. It's an off-season format that we do, and we've changed it today. Today is the new Thursday Think Tank, and basically what that is I have my phone, and I will take live calls during the show. I've put the phone number out for community members on the community tab of this channel that have access to that as community members of this channel. You can call. You have access. Regular subscribers do not have access. You have access if you're a community member of the channel or you're a member of our Facebook community already. You do not have to be currently a member of the channel, but if you have access to the chat on Facebook, you can see the phone number there also. So the phone is on, and if it rings, I'm answering it during this stream blindly. It could be, do you need duct cleaning? It could be that. It could be the junk phone calls that I get on my phone all the time anyway. So that might be part of the fun, is whether we get real Raptor freaks on the phone or it's like, hello, sir, do you need your ducts cleaned? That could happen. That could very much happen on this show. That's part of the fun and the mystery of the Thursday Think Tank. Today, I don't really have a general discussion point. I mean, we could talk about whatever. In general, I want to talk about the new team, the new Raptors team, the new addition of the Raptors right now. This is a new, completely new Toronto Raptors team. And I want to get opinions. I want to get ideas about the future. This is the think tank, baby, where we put our minds together as Raptor freaks and we figure out things and we put it together like a think tank would. So if you want to call me, you can call me now. If you want to, I don't care. We can get a phone call right out of the way right now. You could call me later during the show later if you want. If hardly anybody calls me, that's fine too. We'll just do the think tank the normal way we do the think tank. But the format now is a phone call-in show. So you want to have your voice on the show with me and have direct discussion back and forth. Well, we tested it before and it worked pretty well. And we're ready to try and do it regularly for the Thursday Think Tank. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let me see what y'all are talking about in your chat so far this morning. And also, we'll go look at some of the news of the day. Of course, I've got a G League game to react to from yesterday. The Raptors 905 losing in a disappointing fashion to the Grand Rapids Gold in afternoon action at Mississauga's Paramount Fine Food Center. Very disappointing game in a lot of different ways. They should have won. They were up by double digits for parts of the game. They had the lead for pretty much the whole game. And in the last 5 minutes, the Denver Nuggets G League team come up and beat us by the end in a close game by the end of it. Very, very sad situation. My 3 stars of the game were Javon Freeman Liberty getting out there and filling it up, 37 points, 15 to 26 from the field. Fantastic individual performance. And I'll say this right now. Let's put the emphasis on the word individual. 7 of 13 from 3. That's amazing. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, two turnovers, a -2 overall. Yeah, they lost by 6 points. They got outscored in the last quarter, 37 to 31. And they had been winning pretty good in the first half. They had kicked a lot of butt. But in the second, third, and fourth quarters, they let the Gold score over 30 points. And by the end of it, they overcame them. The second star of the game for me is Mohamedou Gueye. Mohamedou Gueye with a double-double, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 4 turnovers, 5 fouls, 8 of 12 from the field, though, and he made his only free throw. So, yeah, he missed both his 3-point attempts. But, yeah, fantastic, solid game by him. You know, if he's keeping his turnovers under 5, I'm happy. But I like seeing the double-double. And his hair was looking really extra, like, done up. It was very stringy and curly last night. Very interesting stuff from Mohamedou Gueye, a bright spot in the game last night. And then my other star is the newly acquired Kira Lewis Jr., actually going out there and having a better game than the first one he had for them. 32 minutes, 11 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, 1 turnover, 5 fouls. But Kira was a -2, and that's not totally horrible. So, yeah, Kira Lewis Jr., 3rd star. So those are my 3 stars of the game: JFL, Mo Gueye, and Kira Lewis Jr. Now we can talk about Grady Dick. He was playing in this game. He had some bright spots. He looked pretty good. Once again, there's problems with freezing him out on that level. In some ways, we were talking about it in the chat about Grady, the difference between him on 905 and the Raptors. And it's basically this: the 905 players are not teammates. They don't play as a team. They're guys that are trying to make the NBA, and they have very selfish motives. So the flow of the offense on the 905 level is not like the flow of the offense on the Raptors level. Darko is demanding an assist passing point 0.5 offense, and he is getting the guys on the big level to do it. So in some ways, that kind of offense really benefits Grady Dick. And they can find him if they're looking for him. He will get easier open shots on the NBA level than he will in the G League level, because these guys are not helping to set him up to get shots like the pros are on the NBA level. So I figured this out yesterday. It's really hard for Grady to succeed on the G League level when everybody down there is trying to get theirs. So Grady was 4 for 12. Yeah, he could have shot better. 2 of 6 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, a -10 with 12 points in 33 minutes. That's not a great game, but he had shining moments where he looked really capable, and he did some extra new stuff in this game that was kind of different than anything he's done so far. In some ways, we saw Grady playing a little bit better defense physically, and we also saw him kind of, I don't know how to put it. I can tell the progress of playing with the big club and things like that are coming through for him and really paying off. Let's just put it that way. Justice Winslow in this game, double-double also. He was a plus 11, which was fantastic. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 6 of 17 from the field, 5 assists, 3 steals. Yeah, Justice could have been one of my stars, but I felt like giving Kira a little nod for his new arrival and him playing fairly well yesterday. Off the bench, not much to report here. In fact, the Grand Rapids Gold fan that was in the chat said, "You guys were pretty good except for your bench." It's like your starters were real good, but your bench was the reason why y'all lost. And I can't disagree with him to a degree. Kevin O'Banner leading the bench with 8 points, 2 of 9 from the field, 8 rebounds. Yeah, and that's it. And then you got Amari Moore, 2 points, not a really big game from him, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. Drake Jeffries, 1 of 3 from the field. He missed both his threes, 2 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 1 rebound. And then Kobe Simmons, just 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Yeah, not a whole lot of good production off the bench. Of course, Marquise Noel did not play in the game. His hamstring is an injury that has kept him out for this game at least. Grand Rapids Gold on the other side, just real quick, Gillespie having a big game. Colin Gillespie, 36 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, a triple-double for the two-way player for the Denver Nuggets. Nice game for him. In fact, the Gold fan was saying that Colin usually doesn't play well in the G League, but you know what, buddy? He played pretty good yesterday, that's for sure. Yeah, so yeah, a disappointing loss to the Grand Rapids Gold, who are now 7-4 in the Western Conference of the G League. Meanwhile, we're 4-8, and we will play them again on Saturday. They are here in town for an extended stay, and we'll be playing the Raptors twice, yesterday and on Saturday. Now, of course, tomorrow we have the LA Clippers versus the Raptors at Scotiabank Arena. We'll have the preview tomorrow with all the pertinent details about the lineup and the referees and everything for you tomorrow, 9:30. All right, y'all. There's your G League defeat to the Gold. Yeah, really, really sucks. Because honestly, they should have won. It really was the kind of thing where they fell apart in the last quarter and allowed the other team to come back and beat us. And there's a lot of criticism of why that happened and how that happened. And you know what? Some really lame excuses coming from Coach Eric Curry. He said in the post-game interview after the game yesterday that the fans in our own arena for Raptors 905 were too loud. Too loud. Yeah, and they messed them up on defense. Our own fans. It was a school game, so there were a lot of kids at the game, and they were noisy. It wasn't that the place was packed. It's just that there are a lot of children. and they were very loud and noisy in how they were cheering the team. Well, this is our home crowd, Eric Curry. They're supposed to be helping you guys, not hurt you guys. And it's kind of lame for the G League coach to say, we messed up our defensive assignments because our team got confused because our own home crowd of school children were too loud. That is what he said. I'm telling you the damn truth. This is what Eric Curry said in his short ass, maybe 2-minute interview. The one point he had to make was we missed up our defensive assignments in the fourth quarter because the school kids were too loud for our own arena. What the? Seriously, Eric Curry. I've never heard that one before. I had never heard that one before. Now, we talked to Gubstown Clink, who goes to the games regularly on a regular, because as a regular season ticket holder. And he said the other day on one of his clips that he yelled, him and his friends were getting drunk and rowdy or something at the game. And he yelled something and messed up Justice Winslow on a dunk. Because this is the thing, 905, they sit kind of close to the court. And if you get one of these tables that sits next to the court, you can be very up right in their faces while they're playing. It's not like the Raptors. You got some money, you can go down there and sit next to the court and have that courtside experience that you would never probably get in the NBA from a $10,000 seat. But yeah, Greg, I think you did mess up Justice Winslow's dunk. And if he made a face at you, yeah, you probably did mess him up. And if you do circle back and talk to Justice Winslow, you better apologize. Because Eric Curry made it very clear that y'all in the crowd at 905 at Paramount 5 Food Centers, you do have an effect on the game. And that apparently these school kids messed up their chance to win last night because they were too loud and they got confused on their defensive assignments. That's ridiculous, Eric Curry. What a cop-out excuse for why they lost. You're blaming the children? Seriously? You're blaming those children who yelled like crazy, like little banshees the whole time during the game for you to help cheer you on? You're going to get mad? Why didn't that hurt your defensive integrity earlier in the game when they were loud the whole game? Because they had a consistent loudness the whole entire game. Your defense was fine in certain places, but all of a sudden it doesn't work right at the end. Yeah, Eric, let's not make these excuses. We know why you didn't win. Because you're not a coach, and the players do not listen to you, and they're just going to go on their own isolation. I'm all for myself kind of stuff at the end of games. It's not like you're calling plays. So yeah, there you go. All right, let's finally get to the chat after all kinds of rambling all over the place. I want to make sure I cover that 905 game correctly. Yeah, it was nice to see the big performance by GFL, and some people may be impressed by it, but I'm not. In some ways, that kind of performance to me makes me want him less on the NBA level. Some people are saying, bring this man up and play him. Darko, he's a two-way. He can play on the upper level. And I'm like, he's a waste, though. I don't see any future for him. He's undersized. He can score, yeah, but he's a liability in a couple ways. And in some ways, he's not a team player. I'm just going to say that. If there's something I've learned about some of the players we got on 905, they're not team players. Kobe Simmons, Jay-Sean Page, Javon Freeman Liberty. These guys are not team players. Miles Burns. The only guys on that level to me that are team players are Marquise Mohamedou and maybe Justice Winslow. And that's only because of his veteranness of having so many NBA games under his belt. But yeah, most of that team is selfish, and they really aren't right for the NBA because they're either too small or they're too selfish. They may be talented, they may be trying to play their ass off, but that is the paradox of trying to make the NBA when you're not an NBA sized body. And that's just the damn truth. I'm sorry, but that's just, you can be Isaiah Thomas, but you have to really be Isaiah Zeke Thomas. You cannot be half that. You have to be fully him. All right, let's see. Dana's here. Good morning, everyone. Let's get a win tomorrow. Let's go Raptors. Good morning to you, Canadian Dana. Yes, we want to beat the Clippers tomorrow. We saw good signs of things in practice in the last day. Jakob playing without anything on his foot, not playing full contact, but doing half court practice with the guys yesterday. On his leg, walking around, doing stuff. It looks real good. Like he should be able to play tomorrow against the Clippers and Zubac. So cross your fingers, keep them crossed, and just keep hoping that Jakob Poeltl will be playing tomorrow for us against the Clippers. That's a big thing we need. We need that badly right now. Trevor J's here. Good morning, Raptors family. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Trevor J. And he says, when people say I'm blessed, it didn't mean money or material things. It means situations that were sent to destroy you or make you lose your mind, but didn't even touch your soul. So you're talking about having protection. So you're saying you're blessed not because of money or material things. You're blessed because you have protection from bad things that will come at you because of certain things. That's a great thing to be blessed with. That's for sure. I appreciate that. Trevor's saying last night Golden State celebrated the life of their coach before the game. It was a beautiful celebration. Yeah, this has been a real change for this team. This is weird because in some ways this team has kind of been kind of a pouty, kind of annoying big baby kind of team with the Draymond kind of signifying it. You know, they've had the issues with the fallout of the punch with Jordan Poole all last year. The middleness, they like I've said before, the Warriors have been going through similar things to the Raptors, where they've been losing more than they've been winning, and there's a lot of confusion about their direction and this and that. And what are we going to do? And they're holding on to their old vets, and in some ways, it's not meshing with the young guys, and it's just not working. It's just not working. Well, they have this really untimely, crazy, sad, tragic death in the middle of the season of their assistant coach. And it kind of gives them perspective, I'll bet. It's like all the other stuff about this season, all the problems, all the upsetness. In some ways, it doesn't matter as much as just life. And the reminder that we're all vulnerable organisms on a planet that, you know, like every other organism on this planet, that some of us as humans do not respect and kill and die. We can die just like them. And it's sad. But I love to see the beautiful tributes, the ones done by our coach, the ones done around the NBA and done by the Warriors. I'm glad that they got time to grieve, to have some time postponing stuff. I've been hearing a lot of the Warriors interviews about Dayon, and it's a very touching stuff. Like Draymond in particular had very, very touching interview about that assistant coach in the last couple days. That kind of showed another side of Draymond Green that kind of surprised me, that he could be serious and real and kind of like really take something like this and the gravity of this and treat it sensitively. It seems like the man just doesn't have any kind of like couthness in some ways. And well, he's showing couthness with this as far as treating with respect and just the crazy glowing words he said about this guy. Yeah, it made me respect Draymond a little bit more, just hearing him and his esteem that he had for the coach that just passed away. So yeah, it's a sad, tragic event in the middle of the season. It gives you perspective, and who knows how this catalyzes the Golden State Warriors going forward. Will this make them a better team? Probably not, but who knows? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. At least everything they got a reality check. And in some ways, this is the kind of grounding and realism that you kind of need in your life sometimes so that you understand what's important. Yeah, sometimes we get a little far away from what's important and we need a reminder. Let's just put it that way. Bryce is here. Good to see Bryce Lawson, our Kentucky guy, holding it down in the K-Tuck. Bryce Lawson's. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Bryce Lawson. Now, Fiercely Salsera is here also. Good morning, fam, and happy Thursday. Great words as usual, Trevor J. Yeah, Trevor's always got good, wise words. Trevor, I wonder about your life. I know you're blessed. I know you have material things and you have people that love you and you have a vast array of friends and family that are very supportive and caring, and you support and care right back towards. In some ways, I feel like Trevor J must be wealthy to do his jet setting Raptors tours that he's doing right now. But I don't think he's wealthy monetarily in some ways. He's more wealthy with friends, family, and love, and just good people around him. I can tell. I know he has money. I know he's good. But in some ways, the wealth that Trevor J has is exceeded in that other category. And that's the wealth that's more valuable, if you ask me, for sure. Trevor, we love you. And if you want to call me today, Trevor, my phone number is in the chat. And I'd love to hear from you, man. I'll put you on the speakerphone and we'll listen to the voice the commissioner of fun for the Raptor Freak channel, Trevor J. If you want to call me Trevor, you don't have to, but if you want to, the number is there in places on the Facebook chat and on the community tab. And anybody can call me at any moment on the show. That's the part of the fun. The phone can ring at any moment, and we can hear one of the Raptor Freaks' voices after that. So, be ready just in case, Lex. You got to get this phone ready for the phone calls, possibly. We'll see if it actually calls. You guys don't be shy. You can call me at any point. I can improvise any moment. So even the timing of it doesn't have to be exactly natural, just so you know. All right, let's see. G is here. Good to see G. Memphis beat a Lowry-less Heat. They still had Butler, Bam, Hero, and Rozier. Rozier making his debut for the Miami Heat last night in a loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. Do y'all feel a little better about losing to the Grizzlies, seeing that happen? Seriously, that's the same Grizzlies team that beat us on Monday. Everybody's saying, oh, the Grizzlies, you got lost to a half a Grizzlies team. Well, tell the Miami Heat the same damn thing this morning, because it's the same thing with them. They just lost to that same damn Memphis Grizzlies team. Okay, it looks like I've got a call. Let's see what's up with this. It could be duct cleaning. All right, let me put it on the speakerphone and I'll say, caller. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello. Hi, Sam.
Is it too loud? I'm wondering who this is. All right, you're going to have to tell me who it is because, of course, I don't have caller ID.
Okay. Happy Thursday, Sam. It's Fiercey.
Fiercey Salsera, Scotty Barnes, Twitch family. 2022. Yes.
Yeah. What's up, Sam? So I have three things I'd like to mention. So first of all, I have not seen one or very few positive opinions of Doc Rivers coaching the Bucks. And I see the media is the same everywhere. There's a bunch of clickbaiting posts, and that can confuse people when they want to have proper information. So my hope for 2024 is that it'll bring more quality content and then more quality and respectful exchanges. So thanks again for the channel, Lex, because it's the best. Because from what I'm seeing outside, it's not good. Yeah.
Fiercey, I appreciate the very high compliment. I really, really do appreciate it. I think that we can all get behind your wish, because I do really feel like there's a problem with, media and reporting. There's not a responsibility that people are taking that they should be taking these days. It used to be you have a profession, you have an oath, like a doctor has an oath to privacy with your medical information. And a journalist is supposed to report the truth and have ethics about how they do it. And I don't think that any of that is around anymore. It's ridiculous. In some ways, I wonder if there's some way of punishing people or what. I mean, we know with the Otani thing, the guy who reported the Otani thing, well, is he gotten in trouble and written off as someone nobody listens to ever again because of his false reporting? I think that's what happens. We just decide that we can't trust them and we don't use them anymore, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's
bad. And my second point is that to what you were saying about Grady, I'm not sure how much help he gets by going with the 905. When I watched him play yesterday, it seems like he's playing kind of in a manic way. Not manic, but it's unorganized. And with the main roster, it's much more, it's clearer, it's more defined, it's more polished when he plays. So I don't think 905 actually helps him, to be honest with you. That's my opinion. I think if he gets more minutes on the main roster, that will help him more than with the 905.
I think that you're right to a degree. I think that it's true that in some ways 905 is not helping him as much as the Raptors. I think that this is something, and it's really about organization, like you're saying, that in some ways, but I will say this, 905 is very worthwhile still, because in some ways he has to have a long NBA career. And there may be different times in his career when he's around different teams that are they're not selfish or selfish, and he has to be ready for any of it. So in some ways, the difficulty of playing on 905 with kind of a crappy coach, selfish teammates is good for him in the long run, because it's kind of like a hard level of doing things. But I agree with you. I feel like in some ways he's learning more from the regular roster right now, because he's able to do it in a safer environment where people are being supportive. And in the 905, I don't know if it's exactly supportive down there.
and he has the vets or his teammates to talk to him that can counsel him and help him. So, and the others, like you're saying, they're more selfish. So that's one thing I don't know who does the selection process for 905, but it should mirror the main roster. The way we're very diligent in having people play for us, they should do the same with 905 and develop the culture so that they're ready. When they're done with 905, they can transition to the main roster, and it's the same information that was conveyed from the beginning, the same culture, the same mentoring. That's what I think would be good.
I agree. I think that in some ways, Eric Curry's not doing a good job of doing Darko's system on the 905 level. If the guys are not listening to him, well, he does have no control. They're not doing it. It's a very individual isolation play that they are using in 905. And I know that's not what Darko wants, for sure.
That's not good. Yeah. And my last point, speaking of 905, that comment Eric Curry made, like, even at my daughter's level, you'll find people trying to distract the players. So G-Leaguers should already be prepared for like loud noises, loud audience and cheers. And if they can handle that, like what will they do at the main, like on the main squad? They'll have difficulty. So that was like, sorry, BS as an excuse.
It is BS.
It makes no sense.
I've never heard a coach use that excuse before. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, if you can't handle the Paramount 5 Food Center 2,000, 3,000 fans, how the hell are you going to handle 10,000 people and seeing Sylvester Stallone sitting in the front row? I mean, seriously. Right. You're exactly right, Fierce.
Those were my 4 cents. Let's keep it up.
Fiercey.
I'll leave the phone for someone else to call.
I love it. I hope whenever we do this Thursday call-in, you call me every time, because we want to have a check-in with Fiercey Salsera every single time we do the Thursday Think Tank, okay?
I can't always make it to the meetups, but I'll make it on the phone.
Listen, if you get to Toronto, I know you're over in the Ottawa area, you know that we're going to make an event around you coming here. I know if you don't come this year, I understand. But we got this open invite for forever. We're going to make this work at some point, Fiercey Salsera. So
awesome. Nice.
I love you so much, Marie, and thank you for calling today. And thanks for watching, too. And I really do appreciate you so, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Good to talk to you. Wow. All right. So we had our first call for today. Fiercey Salsera, first call calling in from the Ottawa area, concerned about Grady Dick and the 905 and stuff. Yeah, I get this. In some ways, I'm going to say this. The most important thing for Grady Dick right now is to just play. I mean, in some ways, I could say, we could worry about 905 backtracking or making him have hard times, but he needs those hard times. And in some ways, those kind of things will teach him and make him a harder, better player in the long run. So the Shark Tank of the Raptors 905 games, where everybody's selfish and wanting so much for themselves, in some ways is a good place for him to have difficulty in trials and tribulations and learn from them. It's weird because the G League model is kind of, it goes against itself. If I was running the G League like Luke Wynn is, I would not build the team with a bunch of guys that are trying to get to the league, although all of them are. How do you get around that? Well, I would really think about trying to delineate, well, this is the thing. He's our rookie, a first-round pick. These guys are our two-ways, Marquise Noel, Jonte Porter, Javon Freeman-Liberty. We're investing in these guys. And you know what, coach and other players, we're going to showcase them. Like, you need to play to them like they would be LeBron James on the Lakers. Like, Grady Dick should be oriented around, and you should be playing off of him and acting like him. He's the man on the team. I don't know how you get that across to alpha players that want to be the man themselves, because that's really the biggest problem with G League is all these guys want to get theirs. But in some ways, your whole goal of what you're doing down there is to try and develop these guys that you have invested in, like Grady, like Javon, like Marquise. The other guys are there just to try and play. And in some ways, I don't know how you delineate that or get these guys to behave in a way where they cater to the guys that are more important for our investment. I don't know how you do that. Now, I think that one of the ways you do it is you have a coach like Andre Miller Andre Miller coaching the Grand Rapids Gold, former point guard for the Nuggets, a very sound point guard in his career, somebody that I know is coaching these guys correctly. And in some ways, if we had a real coach, a coach that actually had respect and coach that knows what he's doing to an extent, maybe we would see some of this happen with our team. In some ways, I have no confidence that Eric Curry has the players under wraps as far as his vision and what he's telling them to do. I feel like he's talking to them, but it may not be like, yeah, okay, coach, and then I'm gonna go do what the fuck I want on the court. It's kind of what it looks like to me. So I would say this: to improve the 905 and its development petri dish for our young players that are going there, we need to start getting players that fit around them to kind of make them better. Like maybe we need big men that aren't supposed to score. They're just going to go down there and rebound and block shots. Maybe we need a point guard guy who's really point guard first, like Marquise, but another one that has no chance of coming to the league, like Gilliard for the other team yesterday. There's a lot of different, or Gilliard for the Grizzlies on Monday. There's a lot of different ways they could do this. And then the main important thing is get a real coach. Get a coach that actually knows what he's talking about, that isn't in development himself. Like, who the fuck is supposed to develop the players if the coach is in development himself? I'll continue to say that as Eric Curry is still the coach down there, because it just doesn't work, if you ask me. It just doesn't work. Oh my gosh. All right, let's keep going in the chat. And let's see. G saying, if someone calls asking if you need your ducks clean, just tell them you need your chickens clean. They hang up every time. That's a good joke, G. That's a good joke. Like, you should call me now and ask me that, and I'll do it. And we'll have a little funny skit. I like that. G, you got a dunk. And often G is not a jokester, but this is a really funny one. Usually G's getting dunks for smart stuff, but he's getting a joke dunk today. I like it. Yeah, I'll ask them if I can get my chickens cleaned or my geese. Maybe my turkeys. Hey, turkey, I need my turkeys cleaned. How about that? All right. That's good. All right, the phone lines are open. If anybody wants to call into the new Thursday Think Tank on the Raptor Freak Show, thank you, Fiercey, once again for calling. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Bam. Let's go, Coach Darko. That's right. That's right. And Cowboys saying, I believe it's $20 for every assist. Okay, let's talk about this. Bradley bringing up the philanthropy of Coach Darko and Gaga Rajakovic. The couple has decided to donate $20 for every assist that the Raptors make this season. Somebody's already calculated that the Rajakovic's already owe almost $27,000 for the amount of assists that have already been accumulated this season. There's 3 hospitals and 3 places that they're going to split the money up to by the end of the season. This is a fantastic thing that they're doing. Darko, in his interview yesterday at practice, saying he's touched by going to places like Sick Kids here in Toronto and the hospital that they go to in Memphis, the one there. He said that, listen, this is all paid for by volunteers. People give the money that funds this hospital, so it needs the money. So I'm just doing my part, and I would encourage other people to do this too. I forget the hospital in Memphis. They went to it, St. Jude's. That's right, St. Jude's. There's a hospital in Serbia that they're going to send a third of the money to, and then a third of the money will go to Sick Kids here in Toronto. So he's sending money to 3 different children's hospitals in 3 countries. What a fantastic idea. And I love, like they said, it's a positive thing. Assists are a positive stat. And it's like you're giving an assist to the hospital. So how witty is that? Gaga and Darko, with what you're doing is y'all are assisting the hospitals with assists. And I love it. It's so good. And these guys, listen, they're breaking records for the Raptors franchise with assists this year. And I'm all about it. What a fantastic idea. Once again, our coach is winning. And he's becoming more and more of a big time celebrity around the league and known for amazing things like this. Good job, Darko. You were just killing it, man. We may not be winning as much in the court, but we're definitely winning with our coach. We are definitely. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak Crew. Good morning to you, Cool Cat. And Fiercey's are telling us this morning there's news. Another fired coach today. Wes Unseld Jr. out as the Wizards coach He will move to their front office. See, Wes Unseld Jr. is ensconced. His father was so important to the Wizards slash Bullets organization in his history. The Bullets won their championship around their dad, Wes Unseld Sr. And he was an amazing, amazing power forward center in his time. Real load and somebody who rebounded like crazy and did all kinds of stuff to help the Wizards win their championship. Well, there's his son is kind of probably gotten the owners or somebody an agreement with Wes Unseld Sr. while he's still alive that your son's going to work for our company no matter what. So, they may have told him and say, Wes, we told you you could coach, but things just aren't happening. I'm sorry, man, but you're not fired. We're going to keep you. You're going to stay on and you're going to be in the front office. We got you for life because that's what your dad wanted. And we got you. So he's not fired from the organization. He's going to stay on and be in the GM office. I'm not sure what position, but yeah, this is happening. There's people moving right now in the middle of the season as far as coaching changes. It's weird. There's more elaboration about the Adrian Griffin firing. It's really weird. The more I learn about this story, it's stuff like this. Like when Griff was with them before, the owner was like trying to name their dog. And they were in an elevator with him, and they're like, Griff, that's a great name for a dog. So he named his dog after Adrian Griffin like a decade ago. This is kind of weird. And it's like now he's like, I'm gonna fire you because like you didn't do a good enough job. And Giannis is very publicly saying he had nothing to do with him firing him. Like I said yesterday, oh, this is Giannis. This is Giannis. But Giannis is saying he had nothing to do with it. He's surprised he got fired. And so is Dame. Dame's saying that too. The upper management's trying to say the players did not have input in this. We made this decision ourselves. I think they're covering for Giannis and trying to make it look like they didn't do nothing. And this is just a whole thing. I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't care. In some ways, I know Adrian Griffin got a raw deal, and that's all that matters. Maybe Doc Rivers did manipulate his way into that job, motherfucker. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. But there's still more details coming out about the Bucks firing of Adrian Griffin this week, and it's very interesting. Some of the stuff that's coming out, some of it's silly. He was fighting with different people. In fact, Terry Stotts, when he left at the beginning of the season, that was really a telltale kind of thing right there. That maybe Griff was not getting along with a lot of different people in different places. Firebolt's here. Good to see Carla holding it down on the East Coast of Canada and Newfoundland. Always good to see Firebolt. Good morning, Lex and the Raptor Freak family. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. It's a little bit earlier and a little bit later in Thursday for you already on a full moon Thursday. Monique is here, the super fan, the greatest. Monique Lawrence. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Way to go, Darko. Let's get focused for the Clippers. Let's go, Raptors. That's right. Monique has always got her game face on. I don't care if we've got 3 days off. She's ready for the next one. She wants to get down there to the Scotiabank Arena and see all her friends and cheer for the team loudly. Yeah. Yeah, she was ready after Monday. She didn't need these 3 days off like the Raptors did for training camp, but Monique is ready to get back down there and see them beat the Clippers tomorrow. You go, Monique. Give me a call, Mo, if you want. I know you have my phone number. Mo has had my phone number before and has called me many times. So let's see. Cowboys saying too loud. That's crazy. Yeah, the kids. The kids. Oh, did the kids make too much noise? Eric Curry. Yeah. Yeah. They made so much noise. Your guys forgot how to play the defensive system that you're supposed to be teaching them for like the last 4 months. That doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense, Eric. Now at this point, you're just making bullshit up. Honestly, that's how I feel about it. I feel like this is just bullshit. Why are you gonna blame the kids, bro? Seriously, I blame crowds for not being loud enough, not for being too loud. That's ridiculous. In the beginning of what he was saying, I was like, is he saying that the crowd like helped us by making the other team mess up? No, when he came to his final point, he said, yeah, the crowd was too loud and they messed us up on defense. Like, what the hell is he saying? I've never heard somebody blame school children like that for losing a game. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, Eric. Ridiculous. Cool Cat saying there's no such thing about fans being too loud. Ridiculous. Use hand signals. That coach tires my last nerve. Tries my last. Yeah, Cool Cat, I hear you. I hear you. This is ridiculous. You only get a 2-minute interview and you're going to blame the children, Eric? JFL getting in there and he's all smiley about his 37. Just, yeah, I got it. It was feeling good. That's kind of how he is. Dana's saying, now I'm worried. I'm sitting courtside by the 905 bench. I will still give Curry a screw face. This will be fun, Dana. This is an opportunity. You're going to sit courtside near the bench at 905 game in the near future. Well, maybe just I don't know what you should do. I don't know your personality exactly. But yes, give him a screw face and just enjoy it. I mean, don't be worried about being loud. I don't know. Maybe y'all should come and be really loud next to the court just to show him, hey, y'all need to be better with the loud. It's not going to get any quieter in the NBA level. Hello? You think they're going to turn down the volume when you get to Scotiabank Arena? No, they're not. They're not. So you better get used to it here. That's right. You'd be doing them a favor, Dana. You'd be hardening them. Yeah, do it. Do it. Cowboys saying, what a punk. Blaming the kids. Blaming the kids, Eric. How do you feel about that, Eric Curry? You feel good about yourself? Blaming those children that came down there and wanted to see y'all win. You let them down. Oh my gosh. You let them down and you blame them for why you lost. That's ridiculous. You sound like a villain in an 80s kids movie. Those damn kids were too loud. They would have gotten away with it if they had, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those damn kids. That's what I feel like this is. Scooby-Doo. What the fuck? Let's see. Cool Cat saying, okay, coach, so you want an empty arena? That would be nice and quiet for you? BS. Yeah, that's how most of the G League is. It's very quiet. There's nobody there. And when I hear the Paramount 5 Food Center actually have noise in it, I'm like, yeah, that's our team. Raptors have noise at Scotiabank Arena. Raptors have noise in Mississauga. That's right. That's my team. And in some G League arenas, you can hear a pin drop and there's nobody there. We should be proud of this, Eric Curry. You should be coming out at the end of the season saying, I'm sorry, Raptors 905 fans. I'm sorry I failed and I let you down with such a shitty team. And I'm sorry I told y'all to be quiet. I just appreciate y'all coming to all the games and stuff. It's like, yeah, you are a failure. Let down. Get the fuck out is what I would be saying at the end of the season. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Cowboys saying, you go, Canadian Dana. Alley, you go to the 905 game and you get loud and harden the ears of Eric Curry. It's too loud. It's crazy. Let's see. Cowboys saying, I have a feeling Jakob won't be playing. Just saying. There's a lot of people in chat places trying to say that Jakob should just wait and rest. And I'm like, no, we need him back. Listen, it's not as bad as y'all think it is. It's just like anybody twisting your ankle for a little bit. In some ways, they're babying him. He's fine. He could play tomorrow. I know he can. It's not like this hampered him for so long. Seriously, he's going to be fine. He'll be able to play tomorrow. Just trust me. Just going off of my astute acumen of doing this for a while and just watching basketball, I promise you, Jakob Poeltl's probably going to play tomorrow. We just can't afford not to have him play right now if we want a winning chance. You're looking across the court from us, and you're seeing that Clippers team. Holy crap, we need Jakob Poeltl. No, there ain't no messing around with this. We need him to show up. We really do. Cool Cat saying, playing selfish in the G League won't get you on an NBA team any faster. Play aggressively on defense and get shots and team rhythm and make them. Be the ultimate player. I love this. This is Coach Cool Cat and her advice, and she's exactly right. And she's going to get a dunk for this. That does sound like a proper recipe for getting noticed and doing the right things. In some ways, listen, G Leaguers, y'all need to be winning. And the players that are on the G League team that add up to the ingredients of winning, they're the ones who get noticed. Sure, everybody can score in the G League. You're not impressing everybody when you get score. Everybody can score in the G League. Y'all are all good. No, if you have skills that help a team win, that's what will get eyes on you in the G League, G Leaguers. You need to go play the extra mile on defense. You need to go get those loose balls and rebounds. You need to go get those block shots. You need to set up and make your teammates better. And then, boom, other people will take notice, like Cool Cat's saying. She's exactly right. Exactly right, Coach Cool Cat. Mo's saying, as I said in the chat, if I was the GM, I would fire Eric Curry. You know how much I downgrade him. His comments were silly. Mo, you're exactly right. Silly comments. Yeah. In some ways, look, I like you, Eric, in some ways as a person. I think that Masai anointed you something in our organization because you are a very special talent. There are some things you do very well, but I think you were assigned to the wrong job for the last 2 years, and that's fine. But yeah, Mo, I wish we could call Luke Wynn and say, hey, you're out. Get your stuff, clean it up. Monique is the new GM of the Raptors 905. That would be awesome. Holy crap. Let's go down there and you can be the GM and I'll be the assistant GM and we'll do all the work ourselves, Monique. We'll fix that team. You and I. I love that. That would be a dream job. Masai and Bobby. Get the tag team of GMing that would be the best ever. Monique, the superfan Lawrence, and the Raptors freak to run your G League team. What an experiment that would be. Why not? You're already bringing in water scientists with PhDs and statistical backgrounds. Why not bring in super fans to run the G League team instead? You're doing crazy things like putting in scientists. Why wouldn't you just put in crazy super fans to run your G League team also? That'd be fun. Yeah, Monique, GM, and I'll just be assistant GM. And her and I will call everybody around the league and we'll be like, yeah, motherfuckers, we're the Raptors freaks. We're in charge of Raptors 905. If you want to trade, you better call us, bitch. Yeah, we'll be like that. We'll be off the chain. Reminder, and speaking of calling, this is a live call-in show, and the phone number is posted in the community tab of this YouTube channel. If you're a member, you can see it, and if you're in the Facebook group, you can see the number too. So if you want to call me live at any moment, this phone may ring, and we may get another call. So yeah, if you feel like calling, call. And yeah, I love this idea about Monique and I running the 905. That would be fun. That would be so much fun. We'd be sitting in the office like, Mo, we're doing a great job here. Look at Marquise, what he's doing here now. Yeah, let's go. You know, Cowboys saying big up to Trevor J. Big up to Trevor J. Yes. All right. And let's see. Monique is saying Casey Bannerman's Pascal Toronto Forever jersey is top notch. Oh my gosh. That may be the best one he's done so far. I'm serious. We had two of the best jersey drops this week, like in ever. That 905 jersey, that Year of the Dragon jersey is fire. And then the Casey Bannerman, Pascal Siakam, Toronto Forever jersey is amazing. It's got the 43 on it on the front in black, and it says Toronto on it. It's beautiful. And then on the back, it's got like 6 or 7 different versions of Siakam in his different places in his career, like all on the back. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Listen, if you guys are not familiar with Casey Bannerman and his designs, go to his website. You can buy them, limited time only. In fact, Tom Duke got me one of his jerseys before. Let me grab it real quick. Tom, when he was here, he got me an SGA Canada jersey from Casey Bannerman. That's absolutely fantastic. In fact, this summer, when we do the Olympics, I'm going to be busting this out for games and wearing it when we do Team Canada games. It's a beautiful, beautiful custom jersey by Casey Bannerman. You see on the front, there's the Casey Bannerman seal that looks like an old comic book seal. And it's SGA's Canada jersey. And Tom, man, you're awesome for getting me this. Gilgeous Alexander. He got Dylan Brooks one also. But yeah, Tommy was all about the Team Canada stuff for a while there. And yeah, you can see this Casey Bannerman SGA Canada jersey is fire. And you'll be seeing me wearing it this summer when we go to the Olympics. Yeah, I got a Team Canada jersey ready for this year already. But yeah, Casey Bannerman, you are awesome, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I see you making a lot of Miami stuff too. You made the Jaime, the Kyle Lowry, the Jimmy Butler stuff. Yeah, so he's finding a market with Miami fans also. I'll bet that they know about Casey Bannerman down in South Beach also because they like his stuff too. And it's fire. Yeah, it's fire. So we're very fortunate to have a local city talent, Casey Bannerman in Toronto, making amazing, amazing fan jerseys and art and all kinds of stuff. Oh my gosh, so fire, Monique. You guys go get this stuff. Support him. Real Raptor Freaks would have Casey Bannerman kind of stuff because it's the nicest. Cowboy saying, let's go, Fiercey. Yeah, you like that phone call. It was awesome. Yeah, you guys could be the next one, Cowboy. Dana, y'all could call. The phone number is in the community chat. If that phone rings, I drop everything and I answer it. It's the Thursday Think Tank. And let's think about things. I really appreciate Fiercey having a couple of points and us getting to call and talk and talking. Very, very good call and fantastic stuff she's talking about. Interesting stuff about Grady and the 905 stuff. Let's see, facts from Cowboy and Fiercey saying, thanks, fam. Let's go. Yeah, fantastic, Fiercey. We could have a segment when Fiercey calls in on the Thursday Think Tank. We can figure out whatever naturally happens. We may have regular segments with you guys as callers, and we like, oh, this is Cowboy calling in with this, and it'll be boom. Like this is the fun of the Cowboy call. If you want your own segment on the Thursday Think Tank, basically, I'm saying y'all can curate it if you want to. You can come on here. If Paisano Nameless wants to come on here and give me an Italian lesson for real over the air, if David wants to come on here and rant and rave about something he's angry about, these would be great segments for the show on the Thursday Think Tank. So if any of these things happen, if you guys have your own ideas, let's try them. That's what this channel is all about. That's right. Cowboy's saying you're awesome, Fiercey. Alley oop for being the first caller. Glad it wasn't someone calling for duck cleaning. Yeah, that would have been kind of sad to me. That I'm like, yeah, it could be duck cleaning, and then we answer the phone, and boom, it is duck cleaning. And I'm like, oh damn, they are calling me all the time. They really are. They call me a lot. Let's see, and I'm going to use that G joke soon. Watch. Monique is saying, what made me happy yesterday, even more to see Raptors also at Variety Village playing wheelchair basketball. Yeah, Mo, wasn't that cool? The Raptors were in full effect around Toronto at two different events. They kind of split them into two squads. And some of the guys went to the Variety Village, and some of them went to the Sick Kids Hospital. And it was really, really special and touching. Of course, Darko was at Sick Kids Hospital because that's where he wanted to make his announcement about the assist donation. And he was there with people like Dennis Schroeder, Emmanuel Quickly, Otto Porter Jr., Thad Young. Those guys were all kind of with that group with Darko. And then there was another group that was at Variety Village playing wheelchair basketball and taking martial arts instruction, doing all kinds of different events at that locale. And those people were like Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Yaka Pirtle, Gary Trent Jr., Jordan Wara. A lot more of them were at that one. And it was interesting because some of the Raptors got in the wheelchairs and were playing wheelchair basketball with the wheelchair basketball athletes. I was a little worried about Jakob with his big ass knees riding around in that, like, and you got an ankle injury, bro. What are you doing? But he was out there doing it, and Scotty was hitting some shots. He was seen in one of the clips shooting from around the free throw line and bombing from sitting in the wheelchair. So very, very interesting stuff. This is the kind of stuff that grounds our guys and gives them real perspective about life and the different places you can be in life. Because honestly, these guys are in a charmed, amazing place in their lives. And everybody has different places and things for achievement and things that makes them happy. And they need to be grounded in these kind of ways. And it's awesome. I could tell Scott in some ways was a little uncomfortable at the event, but also at the same time, he really was getting a lot out of it. So I love seeing those pictures of the Raptors in the community, giving back, being out there for people to interact with that really, really appreciate getting the interaction with the Raptors. Those patients at Sick Kids, oh my gosh, what these guys showing up and playing little games with them and playing air hockey and those kind of things mean so much to these kids. Trust me. But yeah, what a great day for the Raptors. And the picture of the stream is the event at Variety Village. But Monique, once again, thank you for bringing up stuff I might forget to talk about, although I had it in my queue of pictures here. Fiercey saying, see, that Grand Rapids coach is preparing them for the big team. Not saying former players can be successful, Steve Nash, but it can definitely help in getting the respect and having the acumen. Yeah, I think that players that have done it, that are coaches now, are usually the best kind of coaches. I mean, that just makes sense. You can have people like Eric Spoelstra, who was a video room guy, become what he became, but in some ways, that's not very common. It's a rarer thing. Most of the best coaches and people involved are going to be people that played. And if they played at a very high level, then sometimes that's better because they understand those situations better. But there's also the problem that comes back. Those higher level players like Magic, Michael, and Larry, they have a harder time coaching because they have a higher standard, and some of the players just do not hold it. Now, I'm going to say this. Andre Miller was a brilliant player. He was a very, very good point guard. He understood the game on a cerebral level, on a high level. So him coaching a G League team makes absolute sense. It's the same way that Jerry Stackhouse made sense when he was coaching our G League team. Now, the other thing I will say about this is you brought up Steve Nash, and I've heard a lot of people bring up Steve Nash and said that he's a bad coach recently. I do not agree with this. I'm going to say this right now. I think that the place where he got put in charge was not fair, and he was in a very bad situation the whole entire time. I think that Steve Nash is actually probably a pretty good coach. It's just that the situation he was in Brooklyn was impossible. It'd be very interesting to see Steve Nash coach a different team without those kind of crazy high level Hall of Fame superstars on the team. You might see something very interesting where he is successful. So I don't know if we can say exactly that Steve Nash is not a successful coach. I think he was just put in a very bad situation where he was destined to fail no matter what. So I think he may not be a good NBA coach, but I bet you he's a fantastic college coach. I think he's obviously going to be a fantastic high school coach and any kind of level below. But I'll bet you he could coach college and he would kick a lot of ass. It's just in some ways the NBA coaching like Durant and Harden and yeah, that was messed up. That was not an easy team to coach. Those guys are very hard to coach. And Kyrie too. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare situation for him. I just feel like in some ways it's not fair. Just like with Griff, people may say things about Griff and the way he coaches because of his getting fired this week. And I don't think that's totally fair to how good a coach he is. It's just that it's a bad situation that he got put in. And I think we can say the same thing about Steve, because I feel like a lot of people are openly saying Steve Nash was a horrible coach lately, but I don't know if that's exactly true. I think that he was just in a really bad situation and he couldn't do anything about that. Darko's getting prayers from Fiercey. I like that. .com saying, all right, hang on, here we go. Now, .com was bringing this stuff up yesterday, and this is interesting. Adrian Griffin has a lot of questionable allegations on his name. This is true. You might not want to defend him so much. The Bucks got rid of him for a specific reason. Stop blaming Giannis. Well, obviously, .com is a Giannis fan, and he feels like he needs to stick up for him. This is often what happens with LeBron fans too. Listen, I'm just speculating. I'm a YouTube person. I can say whatever the fuck I want. People that write articles are doing it. People that are on ESPN are doing it. Well, why should I be held to a certain standard if none of the real broadcast journalists are? I'm only speculating for what I see from the outside. Listen, I can say whatever I want. Whether it's right or not is whatever. But I mean, listen, you're right. Adrian Griffin has allegations from his ex-wife that were found that weren't true, and his family stands with him. There's been all kinds of crazy smear stuff on him, and some of it, I don't know if there's any truth to it. In some ways, maybe they did cover it up in some fucked up shit. But his sons and daughters stand with him against his ex-wife as far as some of the allegations she was trying to put forth and come against him. But yeah, I think the Bucks at this point are covering face, and they're going to make it sound like the front office is in charge. But I think it is really a consensus thing. It may not be directly Giannis, and he may not be the focal point of why this started, but he has to okay this to a degree, I would think, because he is kind of important as a franchise player, and they do bring everything by him. And they're trying to say the front office made this decision responsible. They're responsible for it. That's their official word. I will go with it, and I'll change and amend me saying, "Oh, it's Giannis's fault." But once again, I'll stand by this. If Giannis really liked him so much, he could have saved him too. That's the one thing. He could have said, "No, I'm the guy who is in charge of this team. I like him. He's going to stay." He didn't even save him. He let him fall on the sword. So that, in some ways, Giannis is going to be responsible no matter what, because he is in charge to a degree of that team. And if he says whatever he says, if they asked him, he's like, "Should we fire him?" And he said no, they probably wouldn't have fired him, is what I'm saying. So I'm blaming whoever I want. I'll blame Bug-Eyed Bobby Portis. I'll blame whoever. It doesn't matter what I say anyway, in a lot of ways. Fiercely saying that Superfan Mo, always ready. She's always ready. She's ready to get down there. She's ready to see some more basketball. David's saying the Bucks were aware of those allegations before they hired him, which would have been when they looked into it and decided they were exactly just that, allegations. So yeah, your point is moot. He's kind of like echoing what I just said. David, good to see you. Give me a call, David. I would find your call to be very fun if you could call on the call-in show, because you're quite an interesting person. I love you, man, and I want to hear your fire. If you have a rant or anything you want to go off on right now, David, it doesn't even have to be Raptors related. It could be something in your everyday life that's pissing you off. I just want to hear a David rant on the phone for real. If you could call in, my man. If you don't feel like calling, that's fine too. It's a free country. But I know this would be a great segment. Chris is here. Hey, Raptors freaks. Hey, Chris, you could call me too if you want. Anybody who's got access to the phone number, give me a call. Randolph Phillips is here. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Learn to adjust to the seasons of life. For the Raptors, it's their season of change. Let's remain supportive. I love that. That is a great comment. All in general, Randolph. Thank you. Blessings to you and your family and everybody else in the Raptor Freak family and friends everywhere around there. There is change in life. It's inevitable. The seasons change. The leaves fall from the trees. The plants grow back in the spring. And just like that, NBA teams have seasons. And sometimes those seasons are over years, where I feel like we had a 10-year summer of beauty and fun. And then we had a bit of a fall. And now we're kind of in winter. And well, winter can have really good things happen. The snow comes down on the ground and it puts nitrogen in the soil. And that nitrogen goes into the soil. It helps the plants grow really nice in spring. And well, I'm ready for the next season of spring coming down the road with our young players and new nucleus around our team. So yeah, we're going to see what happens. Yeah. Iran is back again. Good to see you again. Darko said he won't play tomorrow from the open gym interview. He said that yesterday that he doesn't see Jakob playing tomorrow. I don't know. That's not what I've heard totally. But if that is true, I don't know. Maybe that's newer information that I haven't heard. Well, I don't understand that because it's been let's see, it's been over 10 days at least. Hasn't it been like 2 weeks? It's been 10 days plus 7. I think it's been 17 days since we've had Jakob out, right? And in some ways, we can't afford to have him out for any longer. We need him to be back. So yeah, either way, I mean that may be calculated. They hold him off, and well, we lose. Yeah, I mean that may be calculated. I hope you're wrong though, and that he shows up because we do need him against Zubac. Randolph saying Lex Demar's daughter was blamed for her screaming distraction. Now we see how silly that was. Players must play through adversities. Yeah, yeah, DeAr DeRozan, that's just a funny chapter in our history. In some ways, I think like some people get so bent out of shape about it, but in some ways, it's like a weird story and a part of our history and our culture. And in some ways, I look at it as a payback from the DeRozan family for trading DeMar for Kawhi right before a championship. And I say, we're even. We are even. The Rosens, we're even now. All right. We are even at this point. Yeah, that's a good point, Randolph. Firebolt saying Monique for 905 GM 2025. I love that. I love that. Wow, let's put the super fan in charge. I love it. Fiercely saying, can we order the Casey Bannerman jersey, the Pascal one? Yes, you can. They're limited time only. I believe they're $150 before tax. Oh, we getting a call right now. Let's see who's calling right now. I can see who it is right now. Let's see. All right, we've got on the phone today Canadian Cowboy, y'all. Bradley on the phone. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Morning. Yeah, Bradley. What part of the GTA are you in right now?
Right now by Dufferin and Bloor.
Dufferin and Bloor, holding it down over by Dufferin and Bloor. All right, West Side, East Side here. What's going on in your world today, Cowboy?
Just doing a bathroom rental, trying to finish that up. Just call it in. Heard you having this live thing. Just saying hi to everyone.
Nice. I love that. All right. Well, this is a great opportunity for us to advertise Bradley's company, Tada. Tada Cleaning Services, 647-833-6844. Bradley is doing a bathroom right now. If you need something done in your bathroom, your kitchen, or any other part of your house, Bradley can come to your house and help you. He's a handyman, and he provides handyman services in the greater Toronto area. He will clean, he will fix, he will do what he was. You have a pretty wide range of jobs you'll do, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I appreciate that. Shout out for sure all the time.
No problem, man. Seriously. Tada. I know people see the advertising around town, but listen, I'm going to do my part too. And we'll do some friendly down home kind of advertising on here, Bradley. I love you, man. And I know you do a good job wherever you go. And you keep busy. So you must be doing a good job. So
Yeah, we got him. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's my twin's company too, so
Nice.
I think he has OCD. Everything has to be perfect.
Well, that's good in some ways. You guys have your different strengths and stuff. I know that sometimes, you got to do a job quick and you got to do it a little bit different. And I'm sure sometimes that's a conflict, but it's also good to have a high standard too at times also.
Yeah, I love it. I just call to say what up to the family, everyone. Hope
So,
everyone has a good blessed day and everything.
Bradley, I want to ask you, Mr. Neon Moon, what is your most exciting person around the Raptors right now that you're very much looking forward to a future on our team and what's coming up? Like out of everybody's around the team right now, they could be older and been on the team for a while. What are you most excited about seeing in the new edition of the Raptors coming up?
Well, definitely Scotty is the man, right? But for the new edition, I would say I like Barrett and Quickly.
Yeah,
Skipley there, it's good.
Skipley. Yeah, they're fun. They're exciting, and it's really interesting to know that they really haven't gotten. It's kind of like the offensive system hasn't been built with them in mind yet. They've kind of just been winging it this whole time. So when Darko really learns their powers, he's going to focus them more in his plans for what they do on the court. So I'm excited to see how that develops. I feel like they've already been huge successes offensively, but there really is fine tuning and direction and very conscious like decisions that can come from what they're doing out there that we have not seen yet. So there's some real potential. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm excited for the future of the Raptors. I know we're going through some things right now, some changes, but I think that's just how it's got to be for now.
It's a natural part of an NBA franchise and what they go through in the cycles. And
yeah, that's it.
Casual Raptors fans, you got to realize this. It ain't all 2019 championship glory and happiness. That you got to go through the times. And that's just how it is. Yeah.
I've been a Cowboys fan since I was real young, so they haven't won nothing for me. Right? So I don't even care though. But
listen, you guys had such a heyday with Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, Moose Johnston.
I don't listen to all that noise too. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I like your channel, because there's no bullshit.
I'm sure there's all kinds of craziness in Dallas Cowboys fan nation as far as like the ups and downs of being a Cowboys fan. Yeah. Well, Bradley, I appreciate you. I know a lot of the people that you do work for around the greater Toronto area very much appreciate you also. We love you, Canadian Cowboy, our number one assist man, Mr. Alley Oop, Mr. John Stockton of the Raptor Freak Dunk tally sheet. We love you, man. And in fact, I'm going to give you a 3-pointer for calling me in today. All right? All right, Bradley, you be safe at work. And listen, reminder, guys, if you need help around your house, Tada, 647-833-6844. And you will get Bradley. Yeah, you get a deal. Yeah, mention the Raptors Freak, and he'll be like, oh, you got him because of Raptors Freak? Okay, yeah, you get a deal. Boom. All right, Bradley, I love you, man, and we'll talk again very soon.
All right, love you too. Later, family. Love you guys.
All right, let's go Raptors. That's right. Let's go Raptors. Bradley's awesome. Yeah, man. Bradley is just awesome. I mean, I've been so happy and blessed to meet Bradley in person a few times in the last couple of years, meet his beautiful wife and his child. Oh, such good stuff. You get to see Uncle David and him doting on his nephew. It's so fun when that happened. Yeah, it was so awesome. All right, so Cowboys already voted. And Fiercely saying, okay, thanks for the info. We'll go on his website. Yeah, Casey Bannerman's fire. You'll see all the old jerseys he's sold out of that you can't get anymore. Like that SGA jersey, you can't get at this point. He makes a limited amount of these jerseys. And when they're sold, they're gone. You can't get them anymore. So when you see them drop, like the Siakam one got dropped this week, you better get to it quick. All right, we got another call already. Let's go right into the second call. I know who this is also. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello. Yes.
Is this the Raptors Freak?
That's right. This is the Raptors Freak. Is this David Saborin?
Yeah, what's up, man?
How are you doing today, David?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. So, there's been a lot of shit happening with our team here. And something that I don't know if anyone's talked about it. I haven't been listening to too many of the YouTube channels or anything, but you know, there's a good chance that Giannis isn't happy in Milwaukee. And I'm wondering if there's a possibility of an off-season trade between the Raptors and the Bucks for Giannis if he continues to be unhappy. Obviously, he's unhappy. They fired their coach out of nowhere. He had a good record, 31-13 or something. And this is what I was thinking. I know we have to give up some to make the salaries match, but there's one piece that we could include with Bruce Brown, obviously, that would be a part of the trade. That, not that we would want to see him go, but I think that it may be something the head office would consider doing for the player. The player is Jakob Poeltl, and the reason why I'm suggesting Jakob is not because we don't want him or need him, but when he agreed to when he agreed to sign with Toronto, it was my understanding that he didn't want to play for a rebuilding team. So it wouldn't surprise me if the head office told Yak something like, we plan on doing this with this core. We're going to see how it goes. We think that it can and will work. And if it doesn't, we'll keep this conversation in mind if we do go in that rebuilding direction. So, yeah, something like Yak, Bruce Brown, 2 or 3 picks. What do you think?
Wow, David. Wow, you have blown my mind right now. This is very interesting. Listen, obviously we've coveted Giannis in the past. We made huge roster moves in preparation of possibly landing him without it happening. So I think that in some ways your reality is not far off in some ways, because we did talk about this last summer, that if Giannis is unhappy in Milwaukee, he may try and leave. But then he went and did the Supermax and extended his contract with them. And I was like, well, that's kind of doubling down and staying there. But you're right. In some ways, he's the kind of player that could probably force a trade. And this is the kind of stuff that Messiah said recently, that he wants to be flexible and ready for just in case it happens. I think David has some merit to what he's kind of pointing out and saying that there is maybe a possibility of this, at least a little bit of chance. But I don't know. A lot of it will have to do with what the Bucks do for the rest of the year. We'll have to see what their playoff run looks like. And in some ways, but I could see where you're right, that Giannis could, like, he's being very taskmaster-ish around the Bucks. He's like, you guys need to be showing this and this and this progress. And if this isn't happening, I'm unhappy and all this kind of stuff. So that's kind of in some ways weird that he's doing that. And in some ways, maybe that's why Griff got fired, because the Bucks organization is like, we got to please Giannis. We got to make sure he's happy. We got to make sure he's happy. I don't know. I don't know if it's very likely, the scenario that you brought up, but it's interesting. The package that you're saying, Brown and Poeltl, I think that may get close to the number of the money, but I don't know. That money is really high for him. But it's an interesting idea to pair him with Scott. Oh my gosh. Go ahead, David.
No, I was just going to say, could you imagine him with Scotty Barnes?
Yeah. My God. I mean, in some ways, they may be too similar and kind of in the same spot in the roster. In some ways, I don't know if it's necessary for us to do this move, but the idea of circling back and winning this Giannis sweepstakes eventually at some point is kind of funny in a way in itself, considering how much it kind of screwed us up before Tampa. So, yeah.
I got to give a shout out to some of our guys who have been pulling a lot of the load, and it's not really kind of what we expected of them. Like Fat Young, for example, I know there's been lots of fans who have been shitting on him because he's old and he's not a center and everything else. But again, this is a guy who wasn't in the rotation, and every single time we need or ask anything of him, he comes in and he does his fucking job. He's not Joel Embiid, obviously, but that's not what we expect of him. So I think sometimes the fans, especially when you're going through a point of turmoil like this, we need to appreciate what we do have. The good things that have happened. Yeah, I'm sure we're all a little disheartened about OG, about Pascal, whomever. But we got to focus on the positive, which is we have a really good coach, we have a really good head office, and we got a few really good, young, talented players on our team to build around them. So I'm just going to stick with the ship and try and stay on course, whatever course that happens to be. It's not my job. I'm sleeping in the cabin. They're sailing the ship. I'm just along for the ride.
I love that analogy, David. That's awesome. No, I agree with you. It's very interesting because ESPN has brought out a new ranking this morning, mid-season grades, and we actually got a C-. And the reason why they gave us a C- is because they think that the deals we've done recently are the kind of deals that really will help us get a big leap in the future, and not just like a playoff appearance, but like a deep playoff run. Because if we get these draft picks to work out and we make a really good free agency summer this summer, our team could really look really good. So ESPN's even given us a fairly good grade. I expected them to give us an F or a D, considering how we performed this year. But in their little blurb that they wrote, they said C minus. And it's really because of the future that is really bright for the Raptors going forward after these moves. So that's
I guess
awesome.
one of the things these fans need to ask themselves is, first of all, you have to hear what they're saying. And second of all, you have to ask yourself, how are you going to be able to cope? You have to realign your expectations with reality. Now that we know Pascal's gone, OG's gone, etc., we need to be realistic with our expectations. And by the way, there's nothing about Masai Ujiri that says he's here to make the playoffs. He's always been here to win championships.
Yeah.
And you know what? As someone who's competed, even though it's in a different industry, it takes time. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to build chemistry, and you need a lot of practice to get to where you need to be to win championships for anything, I think.
That's right. That's right. You got to put the work in. You've got to go through the trials and tribulations. You have to have the failure to get to the success, for sure.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that Jordan told Kobe when he first came into the league was that he needed to learn how to fail before he could succeed.
Yeah. That's
and
something.
This is where we're at right now.
That's what
so
something
to
that
keep our heads up and keep rooting for our guys. And I don't know why people are shitting on Scotty Barnes now, but just give the kid some time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. Like, honestly, right now, people need to just kind of like put their critic kind of in the back seat and kind of just go with the supportive mom that's in them instead. You don't have to be the little asshole critic and be like really nitpicky about every little thing with the team right now, because honestly, there's going to be a lot of bad stuff around the team and we're going to get better. That's the whole thing. Like, one of the things I was telling people yesterday is a really good sign of how good a coach Darko is the change from Monday's game against the Grizzlies to tomorrow. We should see, after 3 days of an intense training camp kind of style of practices, hopefully better organization with the newer players and really like a better, more coherent product of the Raptors playing on the court tomorrow. That could be a very strong indicator of how good Darko is as far as implementing and orientating and teaching the players in just a few days change. Like, watch for the difference between how the team runs from New York and Memphis games last weekend to tomorrow night. And if there is a noticeable difference, Raptors Nation, and how well our team is running and how much better organized they are, well, look to your coach for kudos and saying, wow, this guy got a lot done in the last 3 days.
Yeah, that's one of the things, like, I know he kind of, for most part, looks like he doesn't know how to play in the NBA, John K. Porter. He's actually quite a good player. He does have a high basketball IQ. If you can see Pat all of the times he's in the wrong spot and totally oblivious as to what's happening, the kid's actually pretty good. So I think it's just little things like that. The kid is not going to look the best, man. He's played like 22 minutes cumulatively in the NBA in his whole career. So,
yeah,
he
had an interesting. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he had a very interesting interview at the practice yesterday. He's very long-winded. I realized, like, we may have lost Siakam, who's very long-winded in the interviews sometimes. Like, they add on more and more. In some ways, I was a little worried because John Tate was telling too much. He was very specific about the things they're teaching him. And he was kind of like going over it with the press. And I was like, don't tell them all that. They don't need all that. You can just tell them general, like, we're doing this and this. You don't have to give them nuts and bolts. But he's very, very eager to learn and get better. He immediately, like, one of the things he said in the interview yesterday was, I have been failing like crazy. And oh my gosh, I feel so embarrassed, but I want to fix it. And I know that I haven't been playing very well in certain ways, but they're giving me really good feedback and they're being supportive. And I'm not getting in my head and losing my confidence, but I am screwing up and I am trying to fix this. So they, a lot of it is about positioning and some of it is specificity of the matchup. And there's certain players he plays. Like he said, he had to play Embiid. He had to play really tough centers so far since he's been starting for the Raptors. And now it's like, he realized that he has to be actively thinking at every single second he's out on the court. Like, he can't do autopilot when he's out there. He really has to be on his toes and thinking the next best move with whatever is happening as it changes in the environment on the NBA court at that talent level. So that's one of the biggest adjustments he's had to do is he realized he can't go on autopilot in his brain. He has to be constantly processing and thinking the next winning play. And I believe in him too. I think that he's smart. He has the right attitude, and he's eager to learn and get better. And that's maybe the most important thing to improve is being eager to do it. So,
what's the general consensus on Darko with the fans? Are people happy with him, or they think he's hopeless because we're losing, or what?
I think that it depends on how educated the fan is. I think that if the fan is just a casual or not very smart, they may be dumping on him and saying stuff. They may look at the standings and be like, yeah, our coach sucks. He sucks. We should just get rid of him. But this really elementary Neanderthal, stupid ass fan who really doesn't understand basketball or doesn't watch it, they're more likely they're like stat fan that sees who scored the most points and that's all they go off of. Well, they're going to look at the record and they're going to think he's a fail. And they're going to say all kinds of stupid stuff. But people that are watching and seeing the play system getting implemented, seeing the different ways he doesn't let the team give up during the whole game. They could be down by 20 and they are still going at him like with motivation. Those are the things people should be looking at, not necessarily the win-loss stuff. And, other things like we've had really bad free throw shooting in the last couple of weeks. Well, we saw a dedication on Monday to make our free throws. They made 23 out of 24, only missing 1 on Monday. So there are things that they're keying on, saying you improved this, and they do, and that's the good thing. So, David, I really appreciate you calling today, man. You got.
I know. I just got one more point before I go here, Lex. I just see a comment here about Nick Nurse, and a couple of years ago we were doing badly, and then we would come back from a few games off, and we would look like championship contenders. We just need to be careful, not compare apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Nick wasn't a first-year head coach. He also had a handful of championship players who were on the team that he won a championship. So coming back and looking like a championship contender is a lot easier when you've won a championship and you have championship players.
Yeah.
So I don't want to set Darko up to fail if he comes back and doesn't look as good as maybe Nick looked in these situations in the past, because it's totally different ball game.
It's not fair. It's not fair to Rajakovic to try and compare the career of Nurse to him, because honestly, Nurse was set up to get to absolutely succeed in his first year. And anybody who's trying to gauge that on whether Darko's successful, you're crazy, and you need to just stop, because Nick Nurse was an anomaly, and in some ways he was very set up and lucky he was in that position. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Lex. Thanks for the chat. I'm going to clear up the line. Hopefully somebody else will call in.
David, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for everything you do around the Raptor Freak channel. And honestly, man, I appreciate you. I hope you call in every single time I do the Thursday Think Tank. Say hi to Peter.
For sure, man.
Say hi to Peter and Mo. And also, lose some fantasy basketball games in the Yahoo League, please, if you can.
Lose some? I've already lost 2.
I know, and I've lost 2 too, and we're tied, but you're actually got more points than me, so you're ahead in the playoffs. But listen, you guys are so competitive in that league. Holy crap. It's fun. The playoffs are going to be fun. Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
All right, y'all. On that note, love you, David, and we'll talk again very soon. All right, guys. Awesome. Yeah, man. All the best, man. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, David, actually not in a bad mood. David just kind of being matter of fact and talking, didn't feel like ranting. A little bit of like coming at people who are not supportive of our coach early in his Toronto Raptors head coaching career. Allowances should be given to Darko in this whole situation. In some ways, it's kind of the opposite of what Nick walked into. A team that was kind of not together, a team that's young, a team that really needed to kind of change, a team that was about to be disassembled. So in some ways, that's a lot of what people need to factor in when they're assessing whether Darko Rajakovic is a good coach. He's been kind of coaching a team that is going through changes on the NBA level like a G League team would go through changes. As far as there's new players coming in, people that are hurt, all kinds of new stuff, different additions of his team throughout this whole season. And that's not easy. Thank God he has G League experience himself. In fact, he said in an interview recently that has come in real handy with all the personnel changes for the Toronto Raptors roster right now. Wow. So glad David called. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Marie. Everybody calling today has been awesome. Yeah, there you go. Cool Cat saying, I bought my Casey Bannerman 43 jersey. I love the design, the milestones of Pascal's career. It's a beautiful homage. It is beautiful. And if anybody needed that jersey, I'm glad Cool Cat got it. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you got that jersey. Toronto forever. Cool Cat for sure. All right. Wayne's saying something today. Let's see what Wayne's saying. Sergeant Strainer. As out of sync as we are as a cohesive unit, any win streak puts us back in the play-in tier. Don't know if it's a desire the players must want to display their progress before the season ends. Yeah. I mean, we've talked a lot about this, Wayne, recently about, winning with development and balancing that and, just trying to build winning habits. That is the thing that we all value. We value it as fans. We value it. They value it as players. They value it as the front office. They value it as a coach. And I think that that's the whole thing is building winning attitudes and abilities and behaviors. Now, once again, I will say this. Every single NBA game is like two big water containers. And there's lines on it. It's just like a survivor challenge. You got to get the water and fill it up. And well, to beat the other team, you have to get a higher water line than them. Well, each team's pouring in water in different sides. And your capabilities of the players on your roster may not be able to produce as much water as the other side. So on any given night, their water level may be higher, but we gave our full effort and gave every single bit of water that we could. And it still didn't add up to the line of the other sides. That's what we have to understand. In some ways, we're going to do as well as our talent and our ability will get us. And in some ways, we're not ready to compete against other teams in our current state of affairs with our roster. Whether it's that they haven't gelled and played enough together, whether it's just that there's so many damn new players, and maybe it's also that we don't have enough size. So that's what I would caution people. It may see a lot of L's for the Raptors, but the things we need to look at are they playing winning style basketball? Are they making winning plays? Are they not taking plays off? Are they playing the right kind of way, but they're just not winning? And that can be true. They can play the right way and play a winning way, and it just doesn't add up to winning. So we'll keep on track of this, Wayne, especially. Yeah, we're gonna have to see by the end of the year. I would love for them to make the play in. I would love them to go and just keep winning, get in the playoffs. But in some ways, that's not up to me. That may be up to Messiah and Bobby and how they're kind of manipulating the team to get in the landing spot at the end of the year where they want to be. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. Lex, have you considered a show where one day we can have a moratorium on trade talk? No trade talk for that one day? I think it would be a great idea. Well, in general, Infamous, that's a rule on this channel. You know that I'm not like encouraging it. I'm not trying to like cultivate a ground for it to happen and flourish. So in some ways, it is kind of already discouraged. I don't mind us bringing singular ideas and just kind of talking about them and talking them through, whether they make sense or they're even realistic. But in some ways, that is not what the content here centers around normally, naturally. I think that much like you, a lot of the people that watch this channel are kind of turned off by it and don't really enjoy watching that kind of content around Raptor circles anyway. So I think we naturally do it. I think the amount that we do is very little already. So I don't know if I need to outlaw it or anything. I think that it's valid for us to bring up, and I don't like being controlling in some ways. So if people want to bring up trade talk, we can visit it, but it's definitely something we don't encourage a lot, and it's not something that I'll put in the subject and we'll just like make it the whole thing for the stream for sure. But I'll take into account what you're saying. But in some ways, I don't want to be controlling and tell people that they can't bring up trade ideas here. Also, Isaac's got me next to the phone. I like it. The red phone, the hotline phone, the phone to call the bombs. Yikes. Cowboy saying, Isaac, what's up? What's up? What's up? Cowboy saying, ganja farmer. That's right. Isaac Campbell got the ganja. Ganja. Chris is saying, Scotty said that it's a redo now and that it's going to take time. They got to run through the offense a million times over now before they get it down for live action. They must perfect to score in the NBA. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Scotty's enthusiastic. Scotty's excited. I'm going to tell y'all, different people want to read Scotty different ways. He's serious on the court because he's in his game phase. He does not smile around the court, because if he smiles too much, he'll be taken as soft ass, nice guy punk. No, he's got a game face now. He's changed. Maybe young rookie Scott would smile sometimes and have goofy fun, but he's grown up. And now he's got his game face. He's going in there to kill the other team. So anybody who's like reading Scott's facial reactions around the game, yeah, he does look pissed off and upset, and is mostly because he's mad at the refs for not calling charges or calling fouls for him. And that kind of stuff is more where he's getting upset about. But man, don't get it twisted. This man's living his dream. He is happy and he is loving this. Now, in his interview about the Team USA selection, he was very excited about it. And you can tell in the interview yesterday that Scotty really wants to be on Team USA. I was right. In some ways, he said, well, if they don't pick me, I understand, but I do really want to play and represent USA at the Olympics this year. So I'm going to say this right now. If Scotty wants something, he can go put the effort in and get it if he wants it. And it sounds like he's going to put in that effort and try and be on that USA Olympic team that goes to Paris this year. I think it's more important than people realize. His history of playing as a 15-year-old for Team USA carries over, and he had really enjoyed it. And he'd like to go, obviously, and try and get a chance to win a gold medal at the Olympics by far. I mean, that's something that Kyle and DeMar did. So why wouldn't he want to do it? Why wouldn't he want to do it? Kyle and DeMar went and did it as Raptors before him. Well, Scotty, maybe he should go do it also. So I fully support Scott doing his best, making that team, and hopefully playing very well for the USA team. And, I'd like Canada to win, obviously, but, I want Scotty to have individual accolades. And a gold medal or any kind of medal at the Olympics this summer, that's an accolade. That's an accolade. Jimmy Pope saying, morning, y'all. Good morning to the Pope Positivity. My good friend, Jimmy. Jimmy, if you want to call me, there's a number on the members tab. You can call me in the call-in show right now. I see your name is in green. So everybody who's green and is a member of this channel has access to the phone line to call in live on the call-in show today. Yeah, I'll take the call at any time. If the phone rings, I'm answering it. Cool Cat's saying, we have to give Scott time. He's emotionally reeling. OG and Pascal are his people, his grounding. He's forging a new path on his own. Grace in space, best friend and big brother, not there. Yeah, I still don't want to over embellish this and make this more than it actually is. You guys can think this, and I understand. Maybe you're more in touch, your feminine side, and saying, oh, you got to realize he's really hurting. But to me, I don't see this, and I don't feel this. I know that the connections are strong, but I know that because he's gone through this with Delano and Justin and Goran and other people before, that he understands the nature of a trade and somebody going away and still being able to stay friends with them. It's not like him and Justin Champagne do not talk still or have some sort of bond over whatever. And I know it's different than traveling with people, but I don't think that he's as upset about this as y'all keep saying. I think that in some ways it's changed and it's different and it's weird, but that's just the change and different of the team being changed and different and weird. And yeah, the absence of those guys will be felt. But in some ways, once again, this is so much work to do for Scott right now. There's so much more new responsibilities. There's so much more that he needs to focus on that he can't think about missing those guys. He can't think about dwelling on that. He's got to get going and thinking about the new him, the new person that he has to be on the court now that those guys don't play next to him. So in some ways, I'm thinking he's forward thinking, and he's thinking about what's coming up for him as the franchise face. He's thinking about the plans that him and Darko have for his development as a player and what's coming up this summer. I don't think he's looking back. I think he's looking forward. And that's the most important thing for him right now. Mo's saying, Lex, did you not like Jonte's interview yesterday in the chat? I don't get it. Please explain. All right, this is a good question, Monique. I did not like how chatty Jonte Porter was yesterday in his interview. I felt like he gave way too much information to them. In some ways, his answers should have been a little bit short and succinct, and he rambled on. And in some ways, he said specific things about what they're trying to work on with him. In some ways, it's harmless and it doesn't matter. But also at the same time, he may need to be careful about how much he divulges in interviews about our playbook and what we are doing with our team, because he kind of gave a couple of details in what he was saying specifically about what they're working on with him that is probably proprietary And Nate Bjorngren, if he was still on our team, would probably come and talk to Jonte and say, you can't do that in interviews anymore. You're talking too much about our secret plans and to the press. And that's what I had the problem with, Mo, is that he was kind of talking too much about specific schemes and things that they've got him working on that he probably doesn't need to. It may not be harmless and it doesn't matter, but it's not a good habit for him to have. In some ways, he's excited because he's getting interviews with the NBA press and he wants to tell everybody what's going on with him. And that's great to a degree, but in some ways, he needs to shut up and maybe not give them so much information. It's telling when his interview is longer than Darko's. Let's just put it that way. Darko's interview was shorter than his, and that's not usually the case. The players probably talk way less than Darko, and the coach will talk much longer. Well, Jonte's time for his interview was longer than Darko's. And in some ways, that's an indicator he's talking too much. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Fiercely saying, Lex, I meant successful in the sense of his tenure with the Nets. I appreciated the huddles and his motivation when he was mic'd up at games. The team was a mess. That didn't help him. Yeah, I don't want people to think he's a bad coach because I don't think that's fair to put that label on him. I think that it was an impossible situation. I've heard not you, but just other people in general say that Steve Nash was a horrible coach. And I don't think that's actually very fair to him. I think that in some ways it's a similar thing like what I said with Adrian Griffin. People are going to see what happened with him. They're going to just think he's always a shitty coach. No, I think he was just in a very bad situation on the down low. And he didn't realize it, and it was not going to be working out no matter what. And that's what I could say for Steve Nash also. I don't know. In some ways, I'm going to stand up for him because I feel like he's gotten so much shit about the failure of the Brooklyn Nets kind of unfairly that it's not his fault. In some ways, it's those three superstars guys' faults, really more, and maybe the front office of the Nets. Carlos saying lazy shit by the front office of the Bucks. They're hiring him in the first place and dropping him half the season. Well, you know what they have to do? They have to pay him now. They got to pay Coach Bud. They got to pay Coach Griff. And now they're going to pay Coach Doc. So they're going to pay 3 high-level coaches millions of dollars, and 2 of them are not going to be having to do nothing. So in some ways, Griffin's getting the money, and he doesn't have to be in the pressure and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure he hates this side of it instead. He'd rather be in there still. It's so messed up. It's messed up in a lot of ways. All right, Sonny's here. I was hoping Sonny would show up. I saw Sonny in the 905 chat yesterday. It was Sonny frequenting this channel before. Used to play trivia with us and other stuff. And now Sonny has returned. I said, yeah, you can come back. It's like home, Sonny Mahal. You can come back to the Raptor Free channel anytime. If you're a good Raptors fan, we love you. Come on back. Say, hey, man, I made it. I'm so glad you made it, Sonny. And I hope you're having a great Thursday. It's a full moon Thursday. No Raptors game today, but we do have a game tomorrow. Cool Cat saying changes get the seal of approval by Giannis. He went on media to stake his frustrations. Doc Rivers, the consultation manipulated to get the head coach job. Giannis wanted him gone, didn't want changes. Yeah, crazy. I mean, it's such an interesting situation. How can he be second in the East and have so much turmoil? It's insane to me. In some ways, it's like people like the Sixers, the Celtics, and the Knicks. They're all smiling because in some ways the Bucks are just a weird high at the top of Eastern Conference dumpster fire. So strange, so strange. Infamous is saying Giannis was asked the question directly in an interview. Everyone needs to listen to it. He stated he likes to stay out of the front office business. He has nothing to do with the firing. Well, he did also, like she said, have that rant about the equipment manager needs to do better. This person needs to do better. And he did actively say the coach needs to coach better in that whole rant there too. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. It could be that the front office was really sensitive and on top of things and really had a hair trigger about making this change for any reason. It could be that they had been building things and reasons why. The Portis incident, the Stotts incident, the calling Giannis and taking him out of the game, and Giannis saying, no, I don't want to go out. I'm going to stay in. You know, they may have had a whole resume of things were conflicts with Griff. And they're like, you know what? He's like the common denominator in the middle of all this. And in some ways, it seems like we may be better off without him. You know, that may very well be. Once again, I'm a speculating channel. And I'm not a Bucks freak. I'm not on the pulse of what is exactly happening there. If my equivalent is his channel on YouTube somewhere else, Bucks freak, I'm sure he could tell you exactly how this all went down if he's paying as close attention to the Bucks as I am to the Raptors. But in some ways, this is not my area of expertise. It's not the Raptors. So I can't say the blow by blow details of exactly how this all went down. This is a lot of personalities involved in this and a lot of interesting things. And the fact that Doc is getting the job is kind of seedy. Let's just put it that way. It's a little bit seedy there. Carlos saying damage control. That's right. In some ways, it is damage control. That's exactly right. Fiercely saying comedian Cat Williams had an interesting interview with Shannon Sharp, which broke the internet. So I searched previous ones and stumbled upon the DeRozan one. He was hurt from the trade. Yeah, great interview and classy towards Masai. Yeah, listen, Masai, that was one of the dirtiest things he's ever done, and he regrets it, and he feels bad. And in some ways, he was a villain that summer. The fact that he had to walk around the middle of the night in that hotel lobby in Kenya before he had the guts to call DeMar and tell him he was traded was crazy. Yeah, DeMar did never want to leave here, and we really did hurt him. That's part of the reason why I say when DeAr DeRozan did what she did, it was get back, because we kind of put her father into a depressive state when we traded him to San Antonio that summer. He has had a very public battle with mental health issues, and he's been very open about it. In fact, he's been a front runner, a trailblazer of talking about it in sports and athletes being more confident in talking about mental health issues they deal with. And that's a beautiful thing that was spurned from this in some ways, that mental health problems got more actively talked about out in public and okay in lessening the stigma of things about them because of DeMar DeRozan's depression. But let's not get it twisted. We really did hurt him. And in some ways, it's a similar thing to Siakam. These guys really buy in and they become one with our city. And when our team front office trades them away, it's not easy. In some ways, I know Siakam's going through this just like DeMar is on the down low. I can read his body language in Pacers interviews and the way he's walking around that franchise, and it just doesn't seem right or real. And in some ways, he also, you can tell he's hurting in some ways. Like it's change. And in some ways, he's enthusiastic and he's smiley, but also there's a pain in his eyes that you can tell this is somewhere I never should have been. That I really believed in the idea of being a Raptor for life. And I hate that it didn't really happen. And DeMar went through the same damn shit. He wanted to be a Raptor for life too. And that's why these guys are most cherished Raptors legends. Because once again, we're real ones in real life towards them as fans. Well, they're real ones as players towards us also. And those kind of guys, they should be really, really celebrated and honored and championed in their history and their lineage in our franchise history, because they were real ones. And they really, really were. Isaac saying Bradley looking out for everyone. W. That's right. Fiercely saying that Cowboy alley hoop to Tada and his twin. Always a good thing to work with close family members and have great synergy. Keep it up. There you go. All right, we're going to give Cowboy another dunk for his call-in and his teamwork. Good stuff. CountryCon saying, good morning, Raptors freaks. Lex, I got here late, but I enjoyed listening to your conversation with Fiercey. I have to agree with her take on Grady in the 905. He looks much better with the main team. Yeah, they're more supportive. Dennis and Thaddeus and Scotty are going to get him the ball in the right kind of ways where he can look better and maybe get shots and make those threes. They're going to get more attention drawn away from him with Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, so that he gets more room and space to make that open shot. In some ways, on the 905, they're going to probably focus more on Grady Dick because they know that he's a dangerous shooter, and they may be able to spread more defense towards him with the talent that is around him on there. There's a couple of different reasons why this phenomenon would happen. And the selfishness of the G League is probably one of the main ones right there. Smooth saying Bradley works in the east end of the city. He works all over Toronto. He's at Dufferin and Bloor right now. And I'm at the other side of the city. That's what I was saying. But yeah, if you need help in Toronto, Tada will help you. 647-833-6844. You can find them on the internet. That's right. Chris is saying, I got to buy you the cell phone hookup for a clear sound. It's not bad, but could be better, Lex. And Dick is a player. He knows the game. Hair has to go, though. What? Hair has to go. Like Giddy as well. He's always messing with it. Kind of pushing doing that little side brush kind of move. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. Grady is Grady. Let Grady be Grady. Grady is lucky to have hair in some ways. I can know as a young guy who had blonde hair like him, I loved it when I had it, but it's gone now. So let's let Grady have his hair as long as he's going to have it. Hopefully, he has it a lot longer than I did. How about that? Now, Chris, I hope the phone quality's been pretty good. I feel like it's been all right. I have my mic on really well today. I feel like y'all can hear me really well today. And hopefully, the clear quality of the phone going into the mic is pretty good. I mean, hey, listen, some ways we got to be ragmatag here. But if you have some sort of add on or something to help me, yeah, if I can figure out how to use it, I will use it. But if it's too complicated, I may be like, it's out of my jurisdiction of technicalness. Cowboys saying yes, Smooth Brown Man. We are based in Scarborough. Thank you, Fiercey. And Uncle David, let's go. That's right. Yeah, he's based out of Scarborough, but he will come to you in Markham. He'll come see you over on the Etobicoke side, Mississauga side. I'll bet you he'll even go over to Durham region if you need him some help over there in Ajax and over that way. Yeah, or let's see. Cowboys saying thank you, Fiercey, and Fiercey saying David, aka the Cookie Monster, aka Santa, alley oop, in reference to Giannis. I kind of agree. If they don't win the chip, something will happen. You know, in some ways, I don't agree with this championship or bust mentality of the Milwaukee Bucks. They already got theirs. In some ways, people are saying, well, he needs to get more and more. It's Giannis. He's so good. He should have multiple championships. I get that. But it's not like these things grow on trees and it's easy. In some ways, this is the destruction. In some ways, the failure last year against Miami is informing everything that's happening now. It's like they're shell shocked because they lost in the first round to the Miami Heat. And ever since then, they're super sensitive about every little thing about winning and losing, like Giannis demanding things about things in the offseason. And just the quick trigger of firing Coach Griffin. It's very interesting. In some ways, they're a little too shaky and not as confident. In some ways, it seems like they're a little bit like shook. And they're kind of like a little bit too edgy and too crazy about winning. In some ways, they need to be a little bit more chill and confident as a franchise. Milwaukee Bucks is what I would say right now. It seems like it. Cowboys saying, Isaac, I try anything for the Raptor Freak family. There you go. Bradley's awesome, man. He gave me those peppers. I'm going to take those pepper seeds and I'm going to plant them in the ground this spring. That's right. That's right. Fiercey saying, Chris, Grady messing with his hair like Precious used to mess with his headband. Laugh out loud. I mean, listen, you just got to do that little push to the side because your hair is just coming over your eye line. Well, maybe trim it a little bit. Get some bangs or something, Grady. I don't know. Just don't miss no shots because your hair is in your eye. That's what I would say. Cece saying, wow, at David, I love his angle in reference to Giannis. So Cece's all about circling back and winning the Giannis sweepstakes somehow, some way this summer. You know when Masai says this, that you want to be flexible in the offseason for disgruntled superstars. That means Antetokounmpo. That means Lillard. That means Kevin Durant. That means big name stars that maybe like I want to demand a trade from this team and I need to go somewhere else, Kawhi Leonard. And that's what happens. That's what happens. Alley-oop to Cowboy and alley-oop to David is what we got in a row here. All right, so we're going to get David and Cowboy another dunk. Wow, you guys are scoring. Kareem's got to have to get in here. He's getting some good competition for dunks at this point. I think Fiercey's ahead of him. Infamous is saying that Giannis trade proposal is the funniest thing I've heard all day. Laugh out loud. If I'm the Bucks front office and I'm not getting Scotty, I'm hanging up the phone. Look what Rudy cost the Jazz. Yeah, maybe not realistic. What David was saying. Yeah, it may not be totally realistic, but valid points by Infamous and, you know, an idea by David. I don't know how realistic it is. I would agree. Let's see. Cowboys saying adapt to Carlo JS. Fun Guy saying that was a thing with Nick Nurse. When they got those days off to practice, we would come back as a championship contender. I remember that was how we made fifth seed 2 years ago. Yeah, I want to see this too. In some ways, that's the mettle of a good coach. Get your team up and ready for the next game, prepared mentally. And, of course, rest-wise, they should be ready to go with energy. So they should be chomping at the bit to get out there and kick some butt tomorrow night with 3 days rest and a bunch of practice and reorganizing and reorienting with the new guys. The key people to watch are Bruce Brown. As far as, like, how is he looking like he fits? Is he making more sense? Is he moving with the offensive guys in a better way? Is things on the defensive end with Jonte Porter looking better? These are the kind of things we got to look for tomorrow. If Jonte looks way better defensively tomorrow, well, we know these last 3 days were fruitful. That's what I'll say. If Jonte Porter can play any sensible kind of defense tomorrow night against the Clippers, then that's how we know. Now, Darko let it be known that Jonte is going to stay with the main club. He's not going to go back down once Jakob is healthy. That he sees value in, well, obviously, Koloko's gone now. And in some ways, he needs to have that center backup big guy around, even if Jakob's healthy. So Jonte is very happy. He's got a spot on the main roster for the rest of the year. Now, he may only get to play the quota of two-way games that are allowed to him for the rest of the season, but Jonte has not played a whole lot of games so far. So the 50 games pretty much can go for most of the rest of the season. So he should be okay on that. So let's see. Carlos saying exactly to Cowboy. And Fun Guy saying, why are we comparing Nurse to Darko? That was never mentioned. Well, I'm just saying in general that some Raptors fans may be stupid. And they may totally base their idea of what a good coach is by what they know from Nick Nurse and his success. And once again, we're talking about fans that have just showed up around the championship and really have a weird idea about how the NBA is. And just, it's easy. Oh, we should all have coaches like Nick Nurse coaches all the time. That kind of stuff. So nobody said it specifically, but I have seen it around Fan Nation in social media places where stupid people are opining on Darko and how good he is as a coach and kind of like comparing him. Well, Nick was better at this and this. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's kind of where I'm coming from with that. David's saying insinuate, verb, suggestive hint, something bad or reprehensible to in an indirect and unpleasant way. Insinuate. Yeah. There's insinuations in life. You just got to find them. Carlos saying alley oop to David. All right, we'll give David. David's cleaning up from calling in. David is cleaning up from calling in. He's getting a bunch of dunks here and there. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying here. Oh, I see Greg's here. I'm glad to see Gubstown Clink is here. Maybe you'll call me next, Greg. You got my number. You want to be on the show today? You give me a call, my guy. You give me a call, and I'll put you on, my man. All right, let's see. Monique is saying, Lex, your phone speaker is totally awesome today. Awesome. Mo, you could call me too. If you feel like calling me, Monique, you have my number. You can call me and be on the show too. That's totally your choice. Anybody who feels like they want to do it, they're welcome to. Let's see. It's 11:22. All right, so I'll go another 40 minutes or so. Chris is saying, I think Scotty has to go less creative and more precision, namely his passing. Once he perfects his role in the offense, that's where the creativity will appear. Mastery first, creative after. Well, in some ways, he's got to balance it because he's had really creative passes that have been masterful and perfect. Like the passes to Thad Young near the basket in the last game. That little wraparound pass around the defender was fantastic. But I get what you're saying. He's got to rain down the crazy, fast, quick pass, no-look passes when guys aren't totally ready to catch them. But yeah, I could get with this. If Scotty could play more sound fundamentally in some ways and let the extra stuff come later after he's kind of got it down, that makes sense to me too, Chris. I'm behind on that. Let's see. A fun guy saying, I agree with Lex. Darko has these days and can exploit the extra practice for quickly. And RJ, as mentioned earlier today, void of comparison, but rather relative. Nurse turned the team around with it. Those guys are a good indicator too. Like, what if we see Emmanuel Quickly just make way more sense in everything he's doing in the game against the Clippers tomorrow? Like, in some ways, he seemed kind of like just a loose kind of out there, just kind of fucking around doing whatever he does. And with him kind of oriented and kind of understanding, and maybe Darko even set up some play sets that are oriented around using him, we could see a very different kind of output from him in particular. I think RJ's been very strong and playing at a high level already. But Emmanuel is not. In some ways, Emmanuel's not shooting as well as he could be right now. All right, let's see. We got a phone caller. Let's see who we got this time, guys. All right, let me see. Caller, you're on the air.
What's up, Mitch?
Okay, I'm going to do what the radio people saying. Turn down your speaker. There's an echo.
Yeah, sorry. As you know, I lounge in a freaking comfy chair while I watch this stuff.
All right, I think y'all can maybe recognize the name since he is another YouTube creator just like me. This is Greg, the Gubstown Clink, is here with us live on the air.
What's up, brother? I'm in the kitchen today, so I got a meeting coming up. But yeah, watching the stream as I typically do. on fire today deserves those dunks.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Greg, did you hear my part earlier about the 905 stuff about Eric Curry and him blaming the crowd for their loss yesterday?
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
All right, well, let me just talk because this is a great opportunity since I've got you on the phone, and I did watch your piece the other day about what you think you did to Justice Winslow. You went to the game.
Not thanks, dude. Trust me, like you affect their game, and
Yeah.
and we had a guy that, yeah, as I said in the video, like we had him fired up. He wouldn't have been dunking balls that game if we weren't getting him fired. And it wasn't so much he was blaming so much as, when you're like watching, I know this because I have young kids, but when you're watching them on the field, you're like, get back on defense, do this. And let's say they just trip inadvertently.
Yeah.
Because you're their parent, they'll look over and look at you like, kind of, it's your fault. That's all it was. Dude was back on defense. Like, trust me, if he keeps playing like that, it's a good thing, good inspiration for the team, for sure. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like, we affected him, and not just me. Like, we had our whole section going crazy. We had all these kids going nuts.
You're saying that you helped him. Wasn't there one part where he missed a dunk though, and you were like, that's what you were saying, that it was kind of like looking over. Yeah, I kind of tripped, like your kid.
Yeah, team was down by about 14 at one point in that game against Delaware, and so we started when the team's down by a bit. That's when you can kind of lose focus on the game as a crowd. So we had all these kids. Luckily, adults suck, but I'm a kid fan kind of at heart. So once there's all kids around, you get them fired up. I had like the Raptors, cheerleading team bringing over these stupid Jim Carrey heads and stuff.
I misinterpreted. I thought that what you guys did distracted him and made him miss, but you were actually buoying him on.
We did. No, that's exactly how the look he gave us was that. But the truth was, he wouldn't have even been trying to dunk basketballs if we hadn't have got him fired up. Like, we were yelling stuff like, hey, take that strong, that kind of thing. And I watched Justice since he's come back from his leg injury. This dude has not been dunking balls much this year. And he knew it. They were down 14. Yeah. And he knew we were right. He should have went strong on this one play. My buddy Stewie was like, go strong next time. And he looked back at that point. And then, a couple possessions later, he got a touch in the paint, and we just were like, go hard, dunk it. And all of us, and the kids were like, dunk it.
So, Greg,
he took 2 dribbles and just dunked it. He had 2 dunks after that. It was on the third one that he put it off back iron.
Do you feel like he blames you guys for missing that third dunk?
I think, as I said in the video, the nice thing is the 905 organization gives a lot of, they try to block.
Like you're saying, you want to go apologize to him. You're going to try and go talk to him.
No, I won't apologize.
Oh.
I will speak to him. I'll say to him, hey, in that Delaware game, you were awesome. On that dunk, did you really? I know you guys don't get cheered for on offense in the States very much at this level. What I know, you looked back at us. Are you okay? And I've spoken to Justice already twice since he's come to the team.
Right.
Like, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a character. So he will definitely acknowledge, like,
right.
Like I'll have a conversation with him where I say, what would you like to see from fans? Because the old adage of you don't cheer for your team on offense is bullshit.
Greg,
like, you've been a fan yourself, and you're pretty broke up.
I don't cheer during offense though.
You can get the team fired up.
Greg, the whole point of why I'm talking about this is because of what Eric Curry said after their loss yesterday against the Grand Rapids Gold. I don't know if you caught this, but in his short little interview, those Raptors 905 press conferences after the game are always like 5 minutes. He had 2 minutes to talk. And you know what he said? This is literally what he said, Greg. And this is why I'm talking to you about this. He said that the school crowd yesterday at the Paramount Fine Food Center screwed up their defensive system in the fourth quarter where they couldn't hear and they couldn't get their defense set up properly. And that is why they lost to Grand Rapids. He literally blamed the noise from the children in our home crowd for why we lost yesterday in the 905. He said that in his interview yesterday. So it made me think of you and Justice Winslow recently, and maybe that the noise in the Paramount 5 Food Center is actually hurting the 905.
Well, I mean, they need to turn that energy from the crowd. As human beings, as souls in the universe, we affect each other with positive and negative energy. That's just the way it happens. And trust me, when you're cheering down there, like, it's not a speculation. I know that when the crowd gets behind the team, it affects the team in a positive way. That's just sports.
Yeah, well, that's what I would think.
So if Eric is scapegoating, I mean,
he's scapegoating the children.
He can't get his defense set.
He's scapegoating the children, and not only that, it's like, what is this? It's like, you have a quiet G League arena for you to be able to run your defense. Like, what the fuck is this you're saying? Like, seriously. That's the whole reason why this subject about the crowd noise at 905 is in vogue, because Eric Curry blamed them for why we didn't have our defense right at the end of the game yesterday.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it to get the context. But
yeah, did you go to the game?
Interpreting it correctly. Yeah, I think that's silly. I think that's a learning thing for the team to play through. And
what, they think it's going to be quieter in the NBA? I mean, what do they think? It's going to be quieter in the NBA? It's like, what the hell? It's like.
As a Raptors fan is when LeBron kicked us out of the playoffs again, and he's being interviewed by Doris Burke, and he's like, "Are you hearing this?"
Yeah.
And that was the Toronto crowd cheering our losing out of the playoff Raptors off of the court.
He gave us kudos as a building. Yeah, LeBron's very, very, very like complimentary of our fans and our building and what we do at Scotiabank for sure. Yeah, Greg, definitely. If you didn't watch, I know you probably didn't go to the game yesterday because it was a school day game at 11. But
I had to work.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
During the day's tricky.
Yeah, watch the end. Watch the end of the game, and then go watch Eric's interview and tell me what you think. Maybe you have a piece for your channel, Gubstown Clink. That would be good. Yeah.
I'm gonna focus. I'm actually messing around with. I've been buzzing out in between work, messing around with more cartoons and stuff. So I'm having fun with that.
Nice. I saw your Mr. T with Larry Tannenbaum the other day. One thing I will say is, all right, I have two critiques. It's like, don't be putting RJ in the trade machine, first of all, for Lauri Markkanen. I'll say that first of all. And then second, why are you breaking the Raptors plane like that? Like Mr. T broke the Raptors plane. I was like, that's so depressing to me. As a Raptors fan, it hurts me to see the plane get broken. But I understand the symbolism of the guys leaving and the rebuild, and that's why he did it and stuff. But to me, it was a sad moment.
The answer for why I have Larry come on and say not another flaming jet messiah is for levity. And I think Raptors fans are, serious about their team and serious about things. And this has been a very serious time with some of our favorite players moving on. And I think we just need to laugh at Larry losing his shit. That's the answer.
I think you just really enjoy putting your really psychedelic creative ideas into cartoon on your show. And I'm here for it. Let me just put it that way. I'm here for it. Seeing Larry.
In regards to the RJ thing, I think I had, if you watched it, I had actually text on the screen at that point saying, "Relax, Raptors fans. Like, this is just to show you what can be done with a player that's been recently traded."
Right.
So that has to do with that just has to do with CBA rules, and I was illustrating how, although we could only use one player going to one team, so let's say we move Bruce Brown to Golden State, we can't move another player from our team, but the third team can move players to the same team as Bruce, and we can move picks to either team. And so the illustration there is for impact to show you that we can move Barrett quickly, any of the new guys, but only by themselves. Quickly, super interesting. I personally don't want him to go anywhere, but he's very interesting because he's on the same draft year as Precious and Flynn were. Yeah. And what you can do that's interesting with him is if you were to move him, the team you're moving him to, because he would be on a rookie deal, you can actually, the second team can name the price. So this can be a very powerful way to make the money work in these trades. So I don't think they'll move him. But that's another scenario that I guarantee you teams will be saying we want IQ. So It's an interesting thing and scary times to be a ball fan because you fall in love with these players.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I appreciate your last clip for really, once again, illustrating the whole rules about how to trade Bruce Brown at this point. Like some of that is not totally clear to me. The rules, and say he's just got to be by himself, and that it can't be with the other guys he was traded with and different stuff. Like you do such a good job of clarifying and educating Raptors Nation on some of the cap and trade rules and stuff like that. I really appreciate you for that.
Well, thanks for. I mean, I appreciate that you saying that, but I appreciate that you get the point. Like my point is not that any trades that I'm flashing on the screen are going to happen. My point is that
you're just showing the example.
Certain ones that people do flash at these times are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the other team would never do them. And what I'm trying to illustrate is that these are the options available to them, and you know that. Based on where the team's at this second and the return we got from Pascal, I think anyone that thinks that Masai has any intention of doing a Sam Presti rebuild is out of touch with this team.
Yeah.
I don't think we've gone to the dark ages. I think we've gone to, hey, financially, it looks like someone was going to basically Fred VanVleet us again this year, and we needed to make a move.
Yep.
2 moves.
We had to get something.
Quickly, Lex. Like, the Raptors have set the bar for the trade season, and we're way ahead of the curve. Why go early? Why go so early? The answer is they're not done.
That's right. That's right. If we were, that's a great point. If we were going to only do those moves, why were they so early and we still have time to make them before the deadline? That's a great point, Greg. All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you so much, Greg. Y'all follow the Gubstown Clink. He has amazing cartoon, crazy stuff going on there and just amazing insight, all kinds of good stuff. It's especially a good time for you to start following him as we get closer to the draft, because Greg does extensive work looking for diaper dandies and all kinds of places around college.
What you can watch for with me is more cooking stuff. So starting a cooking channel. That's why I made the Raptors channel in the first place.
Okay.
Is to learn how to do all the editing and cookie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan has always been to make that into my channel for my business, guys.
Nice.
So
good stuff.
I'll still do the ball stuff.
Yeah.
But it will be just as it has been recently. Less frequent. But you can be damn sure I'll be, at the end of the season, certainly at the end of the trade deadline, and then absolutely I love the draft. So certainly I'll come in.
I look forward to hearing your ideas about who we should be looking at. I take really high esteem your opinion on guys when they come in. Like I remember the names you were putting around last year, and I definitely went and looked at them. And I was like, okay, Greg's got something on this guy. I think Walker was one of your guys last year, right? Wasn't he? Gerace? There was a couple of guys you had.
Well, the guy I didn't really say who I thought the Raptors would take last year. I was more talking last year about when you're drafting in the late lotto, opportunity, looking at how humble guys are because of their life experience is important to me.
Right.
So obviously when you see Grady interviewed, you can see that he's genuinely a nice, funny, quirky individual, and clearly he's a skilled ball player. I think the Raptors do a very good job of selecting fine young individuals for their franchise. So an opportunity, if you've been Kate Cunningham your whole life, you're on every team and all that stuff because of your height, your age, you were born early in the year, all those different things. Those are just why people get on the rep teams their whole life and special teams. If you're on those same teams and you're born at the end of the year and you're smaller your whole life and yet you still make those teams, okay, that's a kid I want to look at. And that's kind of how I look at the draft when you're not drafting in the top 5. And it's absolute bullshit that this draft does not have amazing players that can change your franchise, even out of the top 60. I'll give everyone a name right now. There's a guy that played for a team that should be like on our radar in college. One of the best defenders in ball. I have to go back and see how his 3-point shot has developed this year. But he is an absolute leader, elder classman, and I can see us, because we don't want to go back to the dark ages, I can see us grabbing an older guy that has experience with a good college system. So the team is very notable because it's Kansas, and we know a guy that just came from Kansas, and his name is Kevin McCullough, and he's not even listed on any many draft boards in the top 60. I'm telling you straight up, his floor, a player's floor is where they're at right now.
Yeah.
They're not going to regress. So his floor is total fucking defensive leader. Totally has run in a system and is an elderclassman in a system that runs freaking plays. Like Kansas, you know more about college ball than me.
And then obviously he's familiar with Grady because he's been a teammate of his. Is what you're saying too. Is a plus.
He's not only a friend of Grady, he's like a mentor to Grady.
Yeah.
Grady was only there flash in the pan one season.
Right.
McCullough is like, if McCullough's 3-point shot is already developed, he could be the best 3-and-D player in the draft.
Now he's better. He's better than the Duke guy that we had in summer league this past year. That was there for. I'm not Duke, Kansas guy that we had. We had a Kansas big that was in our summer league team this past year. I remember it, but he was kind of a big, wide load, kind of old school '70s Wes Unseld kind of body. I forget what his name was.
I don't remember his name, but I know precisely what you're talking about. Yeah.
Greg, listen, man.
Those relationships go a long way, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we want to get those hidden bonuses of teammates and connections from before. In fact, I say there's a hidden bonus and connection between Gary Trent Jr. and RJ Barrett because they're both Duke Blue Devils. That is something on the download people do not realize is actually something that makes them fast friends and very easily probably connect with each other because they both played for Coach K. So listen, Greg, I really enjoy you calling me today, man. I'm excited to hear about your new cooking channel. And I know that you make them when you can with the basketball stuff, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you got coming up.
Before about how do I branch into my cooking channel and not completely abandon the basketball channel. So we'll probably be looking at things like I love when you do the rep report and stuff, but you'll name like their favorite foods. So we might start doing some things that are like Raptors' favorite foods or something like that, and show you how to cook that stuff.
Oh, very cool. So you are going to try and tie the basketball in with your cooking channel also at times too.
Honestly, like Lex, I'm just going to look at the screen. I know that this is not why you wake up every day and do this, but you have 850 subscribers on my screen. And if there's ever a moment in your life where you sit and you go, man, 850 is not where I was hoping to be at. Dude, that is 850 souls. No, that have seen what you're about and decided to say, hey, I want to every so often at least hear what this guy has to say at some key moments in the year.
Yeah.
Dude, you are affecting lives, and that's a very, very special thing. So
Greg,
you get to choose how you affect them.
Listen, I don't know if I deserve that kind of responsibility, but I appreciate you saying nice things about the channel. I just want to have fun. I want to be a good, fun fan of the Raptors, and I want to share in my fun. And that's the most important thing. I feel like a lot of Raptors fans have trouble having fun, and that in some ways they need to have more direction towards having fun.
Yeah, they got to go out and smash some fucking Raptors jets, I'm telling you.
That's right. All right, Greggy, I know you are in the kitchen. I know you're working right now. I love you, man. I really appreciate you calling in. I'm glad that, I have a collaboration and a great YouTube content creator relationship with the Gubstown Clink. He is my friend, and I appreciate him every day, Greg.
Cheers, brother.
All right, brother. All right, man. Have a great day, and thanks for calling, man. I hope you call every time because I want to just check in with you, and definitely go talk to Justice and find out just how much what's going on there.
I can't wait to, if we get an autograph thing, I can't wait to, I'll obviously have to add a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's a lovely guy. I already know that.
Yeah.
That's why I believe in open, honest stuff. So to me, it's something that I'll walk up to him with a smile and and say, hey, did we fuck up your dunk that day?
Yeah.
He'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Maybe.
And he'll probably laugh and be like, yeah kind of. And I'll probably be like, all right, man, we were just trying to get you pumped up.
Well, he definitely looks like a straight shooter and the kind of guy you don't like bullshit. You don't bullshit Justice Winslow is what it seems like. Well, all right, Greg.
He is, we're very, dude, he was when no one else was out of our five, down whatever we were down, like I said. He was literally with his energy on defense. Dude was getting back on defense defense, and he was so low, and you saw the power of a guy that had that frame to be able to just cover the different positions that he's up against. It's crazy how good he could potentially still be.
Yeah.
Like he's got a look that gets in his eye where he's going to affect the game.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
powerful.
Well, it's interesting that you brought up that you were trying to egg him on to dunk, because I agree what you're saying. I hadn't seen him dunk a whole lot, and I guess he was getting up that day when y'all were being rowdy down there.
Dude, I suspect he has nightmares about dunking because he's worried he's going to get fucking injured and ruin his career again. Like, I can understand that.
All right.
Listen, the guy you're talking to on the phone is a pot-bellied freaking armchair quarterback. Like, I'm not, I really appreciate anyone that slanders a player that's spent time in the NBA or the G League, in my opinion, is crazy and needs to go watch some live ball.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Greg, all the best. Let's go 905. Let's go Gubstown Clink. Let's go Mississauga. Yeah, man, I love you, and I'll talk to you again soon, and I'll see you around on social media spaces too, my man. All right, Greggy. All right, awesome. So we getting Gubstown Clink giving us his 2 cents on 905 noise around the Paramount Fine Foods Center. Randolph saying, hang on, here we go. Nameless is saying, agreed. Way too sincere and honest from Jonte. That's a lack of NBA experience right there. They will snuff that out. Yeah, they may just talk to him and say, listen, you don't have to say so much. You really don't have to say so much. Randolph saying, Lex, do you think Adrian's internal issues with the Bucks a reflection on what the Raptors went through? Nurse yet again got a made team. Yeah, Nurse was set up. I don't know. I don't know if Adrian was part of the problem. It seems like everybody on Nick Nurse's coaching staff is dubious or suspicious. We know Nate Bjorkgren was. There were things with Earl Watson that were very fishy. Nick himself was really weird. Yeah. So who knows what part Adrian's personality and the whole thing of the confusion was. I don't know. I still have the feeling that Adrian Griffin's a good man. He's done everything right, and he just got the raw end of the stick at this point. That's how I feel it. Nameless is saying, this isn't the G League anymore, Jonte. You cannot divulge that stuff anymore. He's still a little starstruck. I think that's true. He's a little starstruck about being in the league, but he'll get it figured out. I'm excited for him, and I know he's enthusiastic. And in some ways, that's part of why he's going that way. Cowboy's saying, true, Nameless, Dap. And Carlos saying, Jonte probably got pulled aside for media training. Haha, that could be. That could very well be. He might get that. The guys like him, Gary's real short and sweet. Gary's just like, yeah, I'm a pro. I just do what they tell me. If they ask me to do this, I'm just trying to do what they want me to win. That's all. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, that's all you have to say in some ways. That's all you have to say. Let's see. David's saying, why don't you call in, Fun Guy? Let us hear your brilliant and insightful thoughts. And Fun Guy's laughing. I mean, listen, he's got access to the phone number. It's on the community tab, Fun Guy. If you do want to call in, your option is there. You just got to go to this YouTube channel's community tab. You'll see it. It's there. If you want to call me my man, Mississauga, you are welcome to, but it's not a prerequisite or mandatory. David's laughing. All right, I'm out of here. This Fun Guy is a real. That's not nice, David. Time too valuable to deal with this clown. Have a good one, fam. Man, seriously. Fun Guy's not doing anything wrong, David. What did he do? Like, what did he do? Did I miss some stuff he said up there? Or are you just carrying on from the time before? There's no reason to hold a grudge or keep a feud up from week to week. No way at all. And Fun Guy's saying, Lex can't handle my negativity. In some ways, that'd be kind of fun. I mean, listen, if you could call me and you could be yourself and you could allow us to not be totally serious, we could make it a funny call. But let's not have anybody's feelings hurt. And if it's just kind of a fun kind of back and forth with a little bit of funny language in it, that can be very fun. But we have to understand, just like in wrestling, Fun Guy, that this is a made up thing, and we're friends and we love each other. But if we want to go back and forth at each other in an argument, it might be very entertaining. But in every way, it's never personal. It's just us having fun, talking things out. It's up to you, Fun Guy. The option is there for you. Of course, none of it's mandatory. Greg saying, I understand what you guys mean by getting a made team, but winning a Larry doesn't happen just because your team is good or on paper. Nick Nurse was instrumental in winning the chip. No chance Casey wins, in my opinion. No, I get what you're saying in some ways, but you have to have that all set up around you. And in some ways, the terrain that Darko walked in on was not as steady ground. That's for damn sure as Nick Nurse in 2018. Sonny's saying these new Raptor fans from bash these teams so much. A rebuild takes time, and for young players to grow, it takes time. You don't get with new coworkers right away when you get a new job, do you? Yeah, that's what Quickly's saying. It's like he's dating a new girl. He's got to take the girl on new dates, is what he's saying. It's like, yeah, I'm dating a new girl. I got to take her for ice cream. I got to go to the movies. I got to do some hand holding before I go all the way with her. It's that kind of thing. It's exactly right. Sonny's right. At your job, your coworkers, you got to get to know the systems, the way they do things at your job, when the coffee breaks are. That kind of stuff needs to be figured out. And I appreciate Sonny being back today. It's awesome. Awesome to see Sonny here. Cowboy saying, Gubstown, keep up the great work, bro. Yeah, we're big fans. This channel is a big fan of your channel, my man, for sure. Fun Guy saying, we need a complete team first before judging. Team knows there's still uncertainty and they're playing like it. Boom goes the dynamite. I'm going to give Fun Guy a dunk because that is a very astute, good comment, because he's right. We can't judge this team with Yakabao. We can't judge this team without maybe some of the moves that are still supposed to happen to solidify the front line. And I'm with him. I'm with him on this. Cowboy saying, I'm sure I can, Fun Guy. Carlos saying, I agree with Greg. You have your developmental coach and you have your ruthless winning coach. It's very rare you have the best of both worlds. We will see with Darko. I think that he's got both flavors. I think that was one of the things when we did the interview process last summer, and he checked off a lot of boxes. Two of the boxes he checked were that he's a flex coach, as far as he can be a losing development coach that you can get a lot of traction out of because he's going to really develop your guys and make them better. He has a proven track record for that. In fact, he may have more of a track record with that than the other side of the coin, which is when you're in win mode and you have a very good team, that you can be coached at a high level, a tactician kind of level like Nick Nurse. I think Darko's got both. I think he's got flex, and the more we'll see it as we win with him, what he does with chess moves in the games, with substitutions, timeouts, schemes, plays called, that kind of stuff. That's the Nick Nurse stuff that's badass. And, I think Darko's got both. I think that he can do the development level where he can be in that drive, that level. And then if he's later on, we're getting better and we're winning, I don't think we have to change our coach. I think we can keep him and we'll just go into winning and he can do that level too. So we'll have to see. Greg saying, thanks. Appreciated the support, folks. Exciting times to be a fan and heart-wrenching too. Chin up, keep moving. I got the Bannerman jersey you guys were talking about too. Can't wait to get it. So you got the Siakam one too. Man, that must be sold out by now. Everybody's getting it. Yeah, I could see that. Let's see. Sonny saying, I'm a Fun Guy. Yeah, I agree. So many new guys and then so many still in trade rumors. Hard to gel and play well with uncertainty. This whole season's been like this. Siakam came in this whole training camp and this whole season feeling like he's going to get traded at any moment. And he did, finally. So in some ways, that uncertainty was feeding the energy of our team right from the start of this whole year. The same thing with Anunoby. How are you supposed to have a feeling of like security and kind of things are going the way they're going with you're looking over your shoulder and waiting for the call, your agent to tell you, yeah, you got traded? That's part of the problem here. In some ways, you want to limit this kind of uncertainty period to the offseason if you can and do all the moves then, not in the middle of the season when you're playing games and your coach is trying to set things up. But in some ways, we had to do it this way because Masai wanted to discover if we could get to what we needed to do with Anunoby and Pascal still on this team. Well, this is true. It's like in some ways, this team needs to get settled and know who's going forward with it before people will feel any kind of security or comfortableness on this team. It's still there. It's not like these guys are totally, Bruce Brown is obviously thinking he might get traded at any time. So this has not gone away. Sonny's right. And until we get that stuff to go away, the uncertainty will be a problem, at least until we kind of set it up and figure it out. Cowboys giving me a star. I appreciate it. Carlos saying it's so funny. A lot of teams are calling for their coaches to be fired. Nets, Lakers, Mavs, Blazers. It's the new NBA, the impatience, the microwave culture that does this. These people just don't understand how long it takes to do things and build things and get things going the right way. And I'm sick of it, Carlo. Let those people be impatient. Let those people have knee-jerk reactions, but don't let them anywhere near any power or responsibility. Because honestly, those are not the right kind of people to be running an NBA franchise. Those people that want to change their ideas about what the team should be like their underwear in the morning. No, no, no. I'm with you. I'm with you. Fun guy saying, exactly, Lex. My point. Exactly. There you go. There you go. Tristan saying, I thought to myself the other day that Nurse is a star players coach, whereas Darko is more of a developmental coach. Well, could he be both? That's what I'm saying. I really do feel like that's what Masai and Bobby said when they hired him. He checks off a lot of boxes. And with the unsurety about our team, we wanted the flexibility of not having to change our coach, whether we're going to be winning or we're going to be more losing in development. And I think that he has both modes and that he can do both. Now, the thing will be, all right, we're going to see him develop guys right now for sure and losing. Well, when we get to that point where we're winning again, then we're going to see him flip to being more of that kind of Nick Nurse coach. And we'll see that he has that also. I'm going to predict that right now. In fact, he may have that better in some ways than the losing coach, honestly. That he may be really, really good as a tactician and a chess player with the coaching chess that NBA games and late game situations are happening. I'm seeing all the signs of it so far and things that he's doing. That it seems like he knows like that kind of Nick Nurse shit, the quick changes, the adjustments, the on the fly kind of shit in the middle of the game. So I have a lot of confidence in him to be able to be both kind of coaches, Tristan. A fun guy saying, yes, sir, Gubstown, baby. That's right, Gubstown. Let's go, Greggy. That's right. Mo's saying yesterday was Bell Let's Talk Day. Did everyone catch up your people? This is a great thing to bring up. I totally forgot to bring it up yesterday. That is Bell Let's Talk. And the Raptors 905 were wearing special Bell jerseys. It's weird. They were wearing Bell blue on their jerseys and looking a little bit like the Huskies. And then I looked at their shorts and they had the little talk bubble symbol of Bell Let's Talk on the sides. So they were very much wearing Bell Let's Talk Raptors 905 jerseys. I don't know if anybody's going to be out there clamoring to get that jersey like we are for the Casey Bannerman jersey or the Year of the Dragon jersey. But yeah, it's interesting that they made Bell Let's Talk jerseys for the 905 game yesterday. Grady looking good in the Bell blue instead of the Kansas blue. It's weird, Monique. It's weird. Those jerseys were weird. Randolph saying, Lex, report. Doc Rivers agrees to head coach contract with Bucks worth approximately $40 million. That means they are paying three coaches unless they get hired, right? Wow. Yeah. They got to pay Budenholzer and Griffin and him. Those Bucks are paying coaches. Their coaches' payroll is starting to look like their players' payroll. Yeah, that's crazy. Fun guy saying, I feel like there might have been a development with some of Griffin's personal battles. Don't quote me, but apparently he lost a nephew in which his family blames him because he left him alone in the basement. That's crazy. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't want to speculate on his family business. I do think it's weird that AJ Griffin is not around the Atlanta Hawks right now. And that's a little bit of telltale sign or something like that. I don't know what's going on with the Griffin family, honestly. And in some ways, it's none of my business. But that sounds like a really crazy scenario, whatever you're talking about there, fun guy. Mo's saying, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the like button. Best Raptor Freak family crew. There is a W stream, Lex. Keep at it. Always good times. Positive vibes. Only let's try and keep climbing. That's right, Mo. Keep the eyes on the prize. Keep climbing and striving. Keep going for the best. And Mo is all about that. She's going to go down the arena tomorrow. Kareem saying, what's the number? Kareem, if you want to call me, it's in the community tab on this YouTube channel. And also it is on the YouTube, the Facebook chat that we have. If you're available to get into there also, you can find the number both places. Call me as soon as you find it. And you can call me on the show still. We still got some time. It's almost 12, but you know what? I don't mind going a little longer on today's channel since we've got a lot more question or comments to say. Let's see. Basketball Rewind is here. Van Hoot. Kenyon, good morning to you. He's going to talk about Ryan Dunn, I think. Who? Ryan Dunn. A lot of the scouting, training, and developmental staff are gone. So we are building up a new pipeline. This is an entirely new journey. This is good, interesting intel from Kenyon. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, Luke Wynn, I don't have a lot of confidence in him or Eric Curry right now. I feel like these guys are people that came from other professions. And that in some ways it's great in theory to think about a writer being the GM That's why I was joking earlier that, Monique and I should be running the 905. We could probably do just as good or better job than Eric Curry and Luke Wynn to a degree in some ways. I don't know. Not that I want to coach that team, but we want to be in the GM office and try and help. I don't know. It'd be fun. I mean, that would be like a dream job. If the superfan Monique Lawrence and I were in the GM office of the Raptors 905, that'd be a lot of fun. Tristan's clapping. And Country Kong saying, I've also done some research on this year's draft, Lex. I agree with Greg's suggestions. Kevin McCullough has OG potential on defense. Personally, I like Stephon Castle from UConn. I hope we keep our picks. All right. I'm going to really lean on you guys because this is something that I don't do a lot of research on. I do not get knowledgeable about the college sports. I do not watch any March Madness. I did not know about Marquise Noel until we signed him as an undrafted player. I did not see him in his Kansas State or anything like that. I'm totally blind coming into this because I do not watch college basketball at all. So any way that you guys can bring me names and people to just go look up, and if you guys like them, I'll go do it then. But for the most part, I'm not going to go comprehensively go look at every single player that's coming up out of the college ranks right now. So any advice or intel that you guys give me, whether it's Greg, whether it's JP, whoever it is, I appreciate it. I really, really do. And as we get closer, we'll definitely be ramping up the percentage of the stream that we'll be talking about draft possibilities for sure. Cowboys saying alley-oop to Gubstown and Lex. All right. Yeah, it's a fun combination right there. We'll give Greg a dunk. And you want to give me a dunk? Really? Oh, that's so sweet. I appreciate that, my man. Cowboy. All right, put that in real quick and keep on going. Carlos saying Kenyon is here. Yeah, Kenyon's here. And Cowboy saying, Jillian, where are you? Yeah, I feel bad about Jill. If she comes back, she comes back. If she's welcome here. I love her. But in some ways, she's mad at me because she feels like I'm singling her out. But I just want to have a more clear stream. That's all. Greg saying, I'll check out Castle. All right. Milbester's here. Good to see our New York fan, Mr. Milbester. Good morning to you, sir. Fun guy saying, laugh my ass off. David is a crybaby weirdo, man. Laugh out loud. That's not very nice, fun guy. Both of you guys going at each other is no good. No good. I ain't about this. And fun guy, you can call me. If you want to call me and talk to me too, that'd be fun. You could do that if you feel like it. Let's see. Country Kong is saying, did I jump ahead? Did I miss stuff? I might have. No, I think I got all the comments. All right, let's see. Country Kong saying, Greg, please also scout Dalton Knecht. He puts up huge numbers for Tennessee, and he's a great 3-and-D player with athleticism. Kal-El Ware is my favorite big man option. Love to get your thoughts on Bronny. This will be good. Greg's going to have a lot of draft stuff coming out, I'm sure, around that time. And Cowboys saying this draft is going to be exciting. And Carlos saying anytime we have picks is going to be exciting. Yeah, Messiah and Bobby get to make some choices. Like he said, don't expect them to keep those picks, though, Country Kong. I could see him consolidating and maybe getting 2 high draft picks in this draft and only having 2 picks. Like maybe trading those 3 later picks for 1 pick and then keeping our pick because we're so bad and we keep our Spurs pick and we have a higher pick too. Maybe like 2 top 15 picks. I could see what Messiah doing, something like that. We'll have to see. Let's see. Fun guy saying, I say get another pick, trade lowest 2 picks, and keep 2 higher picks to actually draft. Very exciting. That's kind of what I was just saying. Nameless is saying this G League coach has got to go. I don't know what's taking so long. Well, it's a commitment thing. They said you get 2 years no matter what, and you can fail as much as you want. That's what they've done every cycle of this. It's a 2-year thing. Mutombo, 2 years. Stackhouse, 2 years. Jama, 2 years. You get the 2 years of coaching the 905, and that's it. So at least we know he's almost done. He coached last year. He's coaching this year, and then he won't coach after this. He won't be the coach of the 905 next year. Thank God. If he is, I'm going to be really questioning Masai Ujiri in the front office for their decisions on what they're trying to do with the 905 and that they're not going anywhere because they continue to have Eric Curry there. Seriously. All right, let me just go on a recap of bits since I'm at the end of the chat. The Raptors were at Variety Village doing some amazing stuff with fans. Jordan Wara's Instagram, he has a picture of him with the guys in the wheelchairs playing basketball. That's awesome. Javon Freeman Liberty has got Paul Pierce talking about the state of the Raptors. And him and Kevin Garnett really think that our team is in a good place and that Bruce Brown's going to help us. a lot. So, oh wait, I got another call coming in, guys. Let me get this one. Hang on. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes. Who is this, guys? This is the commissioner of fun to our channel. This is Trevor J. Trevor J, where are you, my friend?
How are you, Lex?
I'm good. I'm good. Where are you? Are you in the East Coast or the West Coast? Where are you right now, my friend?
No, I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
You're in Fort Lauderdale. All right. It's like we play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Trevor J? He's down in South Florida right now. I love it. The weather's nice.
Yeah, man. I'm just here in my office here, putting a show together.
Nice. It's
The weather is nice down here.
I'll bet the weather's warmer down there in Fort Lauderdale right now, but it's not too bad here in Toronto today. It's actually above freezing. So you're putting together a show for your display show when you put on performances.
Yeah, well, we're doing a show in Tokyo.
Wow.
In May.
Wow.
So I have to do it like months prior to the show.
Wow.
So I'm here in the office just putting the show schedule together.
Nice. So you're planning a trip to Japan to do
We go
your.
We go once a year.
Wow, that is amazing, Trevor. You really are a man of the world. You really are.
Man, it didn't happen easy. It wasn't easy for me to get there, though. Like, I had to prove myself to a lot of people.
You put yourself through the hard times and you made it the other way.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You're a great success story and a story for all of us to look to for inspiration, man.
Yeah, I had to prove myself, man. It wasn't easy at all. So I had to prove I can do it.
Yeah.
And I never gave up on the opportunity I got. So I just run with it.
That's right on, man. Trevor, you keep going, man. You keep going. When's your next Raptor game? I know you got one coming up, right?
I'm going to the one in Houston. Me on the
Houston.
Going to Houston.
Okay, so you're going to go see Freddie on his home court in Houston.
Yeah, we're going to go down there.
Nice.
And I just ordered some of the Pasco t-shirts for everybody today.
What?
Because everybody said they wanted one. So we just put up the money and we just ordered a whole bunch.
Did you like buy out Bannerman?
No, we didn't.
Holy crap. I know he makes like a limited amount. I wonder how many did you get, Trevor? Oh my God.
I just ordered like 20.
You ordered 20 of those Siakam jerseys today.
Yeah.
What the? Holy cow. I'm like, Cool Cat, you might not have needed to get yours. Holy cow. Trevor, you are amazing. I know you're probably going to give them to your people and stuff like that. Whatever you're doing with them, I know you'll do the best with them. Just give them to good people. Oh my gosh.
I will, man. I will.
Awesome.
Man, this is the way I grew up. We didn't have much when we were growing up, but my parents teach us to always give and help other people. Mm-hmm. So I grew up doing that, and I continue doing that. I don't care about money or anything like that. That doesn't bother me. Yeah. So I'm rather give back to a lot of people. That's me. Trevor,
you've been so gracious and so kind to this channel and things that you've sent me, like some of the prizes that I have behind me that like we're going to send this fantasy basketball championship trophy to someone because you provided it and sent it to me. I really do appreciate your philanthropy towards this channel and your motto of giving in your life. You are a great role model for other people. And honestly, this is what I've always heard is sometimes people that have the least amount of stuff, like, you know, sometimes homeless people will be more giving than the rich people out there in this world. And it's the messed up thing. And in some ways, Trevor is a good example of somebody who remembers how it was before. And when he made it, it didn't make him change. And that is something that I really, really respect and admire about you, for sure.
Man, it was so funny how I found you. I was sick one day and home in bed, and I was on YouTube, and you popped up on my stream, and I started listening to you, and I go, this guy knows what he's talking about. And I subscribed to you that same day. And
awesome.
Since then, I've been following you because you're a great, great, great Raptors fan, man, and you know what you're talking about. Like, you're so entertaining. And I introduced you to a lot of people in the U.S., so a lot of people following you too, but they're not subscribing. I told them to subscribe to you.
I appreciate you, Trevor. I mean, seriously, I really appreciate you, man. You've been so great to this, and I appreciate the compliments, man. I love doing this. This is a passion, and man, this is exactly why I made this channel. Was for people like you when you were sick at home that just find me by accident, and boom, there you go. We're building a community. We're building a great fan nation of positive Raptors fans, and you and I are leaders in this fan nation, and we set a standard of how to be good fans for our team. And I love you for it, man.
I appreciate being on your channel with you, man. I'm going to continue doing what I do, and I'm going to help support you no matter what happens, man. I'm going to continue doing that.
Trevor, you're a godsend, and I want you to know that I always will appreciate you, no matter what. I will always appreciate you, and you do what you do. You keep being you, man. That's all I got to say. Man. You keep being you. I love you, man.
And I'm gonna, as I said to you, I'm gonna have a bigger trophy for the in-season tournament for next season.
Wow.
And another trophy for the fantasy, another bigger one.
Wow.
So you're gonna get two different sizes.
So this is gonna be like the channel's getting bigger and better, as evidenced by the prices. Yeah. Nice. I like that.
And I have some cards to send to you. I just picked up some yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm going to ship them out to you.
For Wild Card Wednesday. I appreciate that, Trevor. You're a fantastic executive producer of the Raptor Freak channel. Somebody that I really, really, really appreciate so much. And like I said, you are an example for other people on how to carry yourself in your life, to be the best kind of person, and just be somebody who's just like so giving, and also just kind of like doesn't lose perspective. Your words of wisdom are a joy to us all every single day, Trevor.
Because you know what, the life experience that I gained and things I've been through that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people only see the good parts. They're never seeing the bad parts. They're never seeing that part of me. They're only seeing this part of me. But you know what? It's a blessing, man. All I gotta say, you know what? I'm glad I had God in my life to get me through everything. So,
you know what? You put blessings out and you get them back. That's what happens. That's what happens,
that's
right there.
That's what my mom used to say to me.
Yeah.
And she said that all the time to us. Like,
that's awesome.
She said, never look to get anything from people when you get them.
Yeah.
It'll come back to you.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
Trevor, I love you, man. I hope that you have a great day
too,
down in Fort Lauderdale.
You know what? The biggest talk about the Raptors down in the U.S. that you guys don't hear is a lot of YouTube people like yourself and basketball players saying right now that the Toronto Raptors is going to be the next OKC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said we're going to be dangerous in the next year because we got the talent right now. And they said Messiah is a genius. So making people think that he's not doing anything, and he's doing the job that no other GM is doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. And it's really like this when a hater like Paul Pierce is speaking about good things for us coming up. Because he's not somebody who would talk kindly about us in the past at any point.
They're seeing the Scotty, Emmanuel, and
RJ. Yeah.
So
BBQ, baby.
They're gonna be the force of the Raptors, right?
Yeah.
Coming up.
I'm excited about the new look to the Raptors, and I feel very, very positive about what's coming up for us in the future. I really do.
Man, and Daco is being a celebrity down here right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Trevor's in the States, so he's really catching everything from their media in some ways. And in some ways, it's not the same as up here, some of the stuff that you may hear. And it's good that he's getting put on blast down there to a degree. I agree.
Yeah. Daco's a celebrity down here, man. Like, everybody's talking about him, man. Even people who even know about the Raptors start talking about the Raptors because of Daco.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, hey, Trevor, I'm going to let you get back to your planning for your Tokyo trip. And once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you do for this channel. You truly are and executive producer. You truly are the commissioner of fun of the Raptor Freak channel.
Brother, not a problem, man.
All right, my man. I love you. And listen, every single time you guys have called me today, it's not like a one and done. We're going to have regular call-in shows, and I want to have the same people call in all the time. So checking in with Trevor, checking in with Greg, Fiercey, David, Cowboy. These guys, everybody that called in today, it's not like I'm going to say, I don't want you to call you next time. I want you to call me every single time, please. Okay?
No problem, man.
All right, Trevor. All right, man. I love you. Bless you. Bless everybody around Trevor J and what he's doing right now and everything he does, because he does it with the best intentions.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right. Love you, man. All right. I'm going to talk to you again soon, I'm sure. Awesome. Awesome. Whoever was trying to call during the Trevor J call, you can try and call back in just this couple minutes. Yeah, I think it was Kareem. Maybe Kareem was trying to call me. You can call me after this call's over. Yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't want to, I could have maybe put y'all on the same time, but that may have been too much. You know, sometimes if you have a 3-man crew and announcing, it's stepping on each other's toes. You don't know when to go. And especially if you have 2 people on the phone and they can't see each other, it could get a little hairy. But whoever that is, if that was Kareem trying to call me, definitely call me back, Kareem Thomas. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's the call right here. All right, let's see. Caller, you're on the air. Is this Kareem?
No, Lex, it's Race Mode Daily, Edmund. How are you?
Oh, it's Edmund. Yes, Edmund. Good to talk to you, my man. How have you been doing, and how are the kids? How's the family?
Lex, always fantastic. You know, I've been on and off the Raptors because of the situation that we have here going on, and you know, I was a Knicks fan, and you know that already. I'm glad that OG and Precious and Malachi is there.
Yeah.
And I can sort of watch them grow. And Precious, you know, plus 13 in the last game against I forget who they played, but it's so nice to see those guys flourish.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to see them on a team you like. Like, I know when Jakob and DeMar got traded to San Antonio, at least I was like, well, at least they're on a team that I really love, you know?
Exactly. And I love following these guys and seeing how they're flourishing. So it's nice to see. You know, I grew up in New York, and being able to watch the Knicks fans somewhat is nice to see again. It's kind of bringing me back. But listen, it's late in the day. I just want to let you know, it's really tough to work and have and when I know you're having a 5-hour show Lexicon again.
Yeah.
Like,
listen, it's that time speed is really a helpful 1 times 5 speed, 1 times 7.5. Double time me if you want. You know, my streams, I've been trying to cut them down and get them more close to 2 hours, but with different success.
It's great. Don't worry about it. Keep
Okay.
doing your thing. Okay. I gotta watch you live, but here, most important, and I know it's noon, but I need to ask you. I am getting defeated by the Dicks pick right now.
Yeah, in the fantasy league.
Help me out here.
All right, you want me to go? Actually, I'll do this right now. I'm going to do some little bit of fantasy basketball first aid for our friend Edmund Race Mode Daily. He is in a matchup with the undefeated Dick Pick. Dick Pick is in 13-0 right now. And holy crap, the margin's really bad. I'm just going to say that, Edmund. You are 170 points to 530. I think it's a little too late on this one, as far as they've just jumped out and killed you. Now, one thing I will say is make sure you're getting as many games played in as possible. And I don't know how to help you in this situation. This is tough. You're 3-10. They're 13-0. They're a juggernaut. That's JP. That's Country Kong. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. That's tough. Wow, JP's got the undefeated team. Holy crap. Yeah.
All right, there's always next year.
Yeah, that's what people seem to say in sports quite often.
Anyway, love you, Lex. You guys are great. I'll let everybody go. Keep up the stream, and let's go, Raptors.
Awesome. Edmund, you're one of my original guys. You've been here since the beginning. I love you so much. I appreciate you. I love seeing all your stuff on Instagram with your career, and the stuff you're doing is so exciting and interesting. And of course, your beautiful family, your boys, and everything. I just wish you guys all the best blessings and the best things coming to you guys in 2024 this year.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'll be tuning out the Raptors all year because of what's going on, but
Listen.
I have to tune into the Raptors streak.
Listen, well, at least maybe go support OG and Precious and the guys with the New York team, but don't count us out too soon, and keep a little bit of tabs on us just in case. But I totally get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying.
I'll give you a quick history and why my attitude is the way it is. I wasn't a season ticket holder, but I was buying tickets in the last few years of Vince Carter, and you remember the last year of Vince Carter.
Yeah.
After that year, spending my hard-earned $500 to show up with my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, to watch a Raptors game and watch Vince not care, or we know the background in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not blaming Vince. But it was tough to spend that much money and not get what I wanted out of the Raptors, the enjoyment.
Sure.
It is very different now. Messiah is great. There's a future. Even though we're not winning, we're still watchable.
Yeah.
It's tough sometimes, right? When you're watching what's going on.
No, I get it. Listen, and with you in particular, you are such a busy person. How you juggle all the different aspects of your life. Well, it may be that listen, Raptors, if you ain't going to come correct and be serious enough, I can't really justify me putting my time into watching y'all, because I have a family, I have a career, I have all kinds of other stuff going on. I totally get it.
I'll tell you, when I saw Kyle, I got invited to a game late, in early 2012, 13, I forgot now what year.
Yeah.
I got invited to a game. I was at the Scotiabank club, which was, I forgot what the name was before that. But I saw Kyle Lowry, and I was like, who is this guy? And I fell in love, and I got lucky because I wasn't watching the game before I saw Kyle Lowry.
So you're saying that like you got disenchanted by Vince Carter and how you were buying those $500 tickets with your girlfriend, your soon to be wife later down the road, and then you missed the whole Chris Bosh period. You didn't come back until Lowry came.
I became a Bulls fan. I became a Kobe fan. So I was following the Lakers.
Yeah.
And I started my company. That I really didn't watch the Raptors for over 10 years.
Yeah, because you were so busy. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I get it.
Anyway,
well,
2021, love you.
Love you too, man. Here's to hoping the Raptors play better and they earn your attention again. I'm all about that. I know you're a real one, and that has nothing to do with that. You're just an extremely busy person, and you've got to think about how you divvy up your time. Yeah.
Yeah, I record it, and if it's worth watching, I'll watch it.
Sometimes
I'll catch it live, and then sometimes I'll watch it in the morning and see if it's worth watching again. So.
Well, always ask us in the chat on the Facebook, because I know you're in there too, if the game's worth watching. We'll tell you. All right, Edmund. Blessings and love to you and your family and everybody else at your company, Race Mode Daily. We love you, man.
Have a great day, everybody.
All right, brother. All right, man. Awesome. We're getting a good selection of different great Raptor freaks calling in today. This is awesome. All right, I'm gonna keep going. I don't care if I'm getting close to 3 hours. We'll keep going today. We're doing a special first ever Thursday Think Tank call-in show. This is gonna be the new format for this summer coming up. Every Thursday in the off season, it will be a regular phone call-in show on this channel. So be ready for that and have fun. Get ready for having opinions and calling me directly and talking to me. It's gonna be awesome. I feel like it's going really well, and I'm excited to see how this goes over time as far as interacting with you guys live on the air on the phone. It's awesome. I love it. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying in the chat. Since I went and looked at it, I was doing the Instagram stories, but I'll get back to them in just a sec. Let's see. Nameless. Oh yeah, I read that one. Milbester is saying, Lex, we got a big game tonight versus the Nuggets at MSG, but we might lose because we don't have Hartenstein, Mitch to guard Jokic due to injuries. Jokic will dominate the game and may get a triple-double. So you don't have Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson right now. Well, I'm going to tell you this right now. You got Precious Achiuwa. And this may look a little weird to you, Milbester, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You guys might be all right. I'm going to say this right now, Knicks fan. Do not worry. You just got two of the best defensive players in the league on your team in the trade with us. OG and Precious can guard Jokic. And you're going to see that tonight. And you're going to be very happy about it, Knicks Nation. So watch. I don't know if y'all will win, because the Nuggets have been doing impossible shit, like beating Boston on their home court and breaking their perfect home record. So in some ways, it's going to be a tall climb and a hard matchup. But just so you know, I'm more confident about Precious and OG stopping Jokic without your big centers than I am in the Raptors doing anything against the Clippers without Jakob Poeltl. So let's just say that. So you watch Milbester, and you may be very pleasantly surprised about what your new New York Knicks, former Raptors, are going to do for you defensively in this situation. Cowboys saying Trevor J, let's go with it. Yeah. Fun guy saying, wow, Trevor J is a sensei. He's awesome. Yeah. Alley-oop to Trevor J. You got it. You got it. I love the commissioner of fun. He is the man. We love Trevor J. He is just such a great role model and a great person. Yeah. Let's see. Krim saying it's not Santa, it's Trevor. God damn it. That's funny. Cowboys saying, shit, Trevor just made my day. I hope we meet you one day. I love you. Keep being you. That's right. Well, hopefully someday he can jump the border and come to a Raptors Freak meet and greet somehow, some way. But we know that these guys are with us anyway. You want alley-oop to Kareem Thomas? All right, we can do that. Let's give Kareem a good alley-oop from the Cowboy. Neon Moon connecting with old KT. Loving it. I'm loving it. All right, there we go. Kareem has 19 dunks now. All right, let's see. Fiercely saying Gubstown, Trevor, let's go. Fire. Yeah, good call-ins today. Blessings to Trevor J. And Fiercely saying, I like that. Raps will be the new OKC. I can see this, although without the trade pick craziness. In some ways, we'll be like OKC as far as the promise and the young core. But I don't want to have a glut of draft picks that have all kinds of spots that there aren't spots to fill in. It's almost like this is why Masai says in his interview a couple weeks ago that we want to consolidate the picks, because if we have 4 picks in this draft, well, there's not spots on the team and plot them in the garden. It's like you can go to the nursery and buy a whole bunch of plants, but if you don't have the fucking room in your garden to plant them, what the fuck is the point of buying them? So in some ways, you got to think about it that way as far as fit, as far as roster spots and how many you have available and how much you're willing to shift things around with your free agency and your roster in the summer. In some ways, they're going to be calculated. They don't want any waste. Do they want to draft guys just to have extra draft picks and cut them like OKC has had to do recently? No, they don't want to do that. They want to consolidate the picks, get the right amount of picks, and have the right amount of spots in the garden to plant those trees to grow. And that's a big, important part of it right there. So there is a distinction in that way, as far as I think. Yeah, Fiercely saying she loves the phone-ins. She loves it. That was great. I love that too. And Sonny's saying, so Josh Lewinberg tweeted that IQ didn't practice today. Update to come soon. Uh-oh, I hope he's okay. Well, I hope he's okay too. There could be all kinds of different reasons for this. You know what? I'm going to go look at it since you brought it up, and I'm going to just want to look at it live and see what he's saying, because I do follow Josh Lewinberg. And I would like to see what he's saying about that, whatever the new news is. And I just want to specifically see it. Let me see what is he saying. I don't write his name in. Why not? Josh Lew. Emmanuel Quickly did not participate in practice today. Update to come. And that's pretty much what you just said. And that's it. He said that 15 minutes ago. Who could be all kinds of different things. Could be a touch of the weather. Could be, maybe something weird that happened. Who knows? Milbester saying Achua had a nice game versus the Nets, had a dunk and scored a couple points with Hartenstein out with Achilles. But after the Nuggets, they play the Heat on Saturday at Adebayo matchup on Achua. All right, let's get this next call. It's maybe the last one for today. Hello, caller. Are you on the air?
What's up, Lexi?
Yeah, who's this? Oh, is this Blackhawk?
Yes, brother.
Neil, good to see you, Neil. Good to hear you, man. How are you today, sir?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you want to? What's going on today in your world, Neil? Hello? I think your phone is choppy. I think we're getting a choppy phone this time. Can you hear me? Okay, you're going to try and call back? All right, I'm going to finish up the Instagram stories, and I'll see if we can get a better connection. Yeah, I don't think the connection was exactly right with Blackhawk. Neil's calling us there. Very cool. All right, let me see. Where was I? Instagram story. So I like seeing that Garnett and Pierce are talking us up as a future team, and so does Mr. New York City, saying the same thing, that he really likes the new look. All right, let me see if we got a better call this time. Neil, can you hear me better?
I can hear you right now. I'm hoping it stays good.
Okay, cool.
Going choppy.
So how you been, man? Good to talk to you.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Nice. So
You know what I'm saying? How
yeah.
you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man. I'm just doing a call-in show on YouTube and enjoying talking Raptors with you guys all over the place. Getting calls from the States, calls from across Canada. Very fantastic. So, what's going on in your world today, Neil? What's on the tap for today, and how are you feeling about the Raptors right now?
I'm always good with the Raptors, man. Even though I pulled myself off of the Twitter a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still good with it because I'm not giving up on the Raptors ever, man. That's my team.
Right
I don't
on.
care who's on it. I'll always support.
Well, you got the Raptor Freak shirt that's bona fide and that declares that this man is a true one. And I mean, I get it. I mean, sometimes you got to take a break from Twitter just for like a mental health break, honestly.
Yeah. You know me. I don't want too much negativity in the air. I need some positivity in it.
Well, I know that both you and Cool Cat have been frontline soldiers in the spaces, and some of the stuff that happens in there.
She's the soldier now.
Yeah, she's in there fighting the fight. And you're like, I need to tap out for just a little bit.
There you go. I have to tap out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how crazy and chaotic and silly it is in there. Like, it would probably, if I had hair, I'd pull it all out, the rest of it.
Well, you know, I've already gotten that. I've lost that already too. So
yeah. No,
in the same boat.
I want to say seriously, Neil, the fact that you and Cool Cat go in there and do that, it says so much about how passionate y'all are as positive fans of the team, because that is really like the drudge of like the worst toxic negative fans in some ways is on places like Twitter and Reddit and Facebook and
The optimism is not there when it should be. You have to have. No one can be 100% one way, and that's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, if that's the way they want to be, that's the way they want to be.
In some ways,
you know, I don't care to convince people. To be honest, I just like to state my position, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do it. No. You don't need to do. You don't need to be on the same page as me. It'd be nice, but you don't need to be on the same page as me. And I don't need to be on the same page as other people either. So
you share your point of view, and that's all you can do. You share your point of view, and hopefully you're educating. Hopefully you're telling people like things that are intelligent, and then they're like, okay, now you make more sense, and I'm not so stupid anymore. That's what I would hope happens on there.
There you go. Talking about that, here's what I'd like to see going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we need to get back to 4 centers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, whether we trade for one more or Masai brings them into the draft, get us up there, because I don't think anyone's realized we can't have trouble against those teams that are bigger than us.
No. It's a big problem.
Look what happened to the Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. And where we struggled was, what do you do when the big guys clog the lane?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if we need to either match them or know how to pull those big centers out of the paint.
Yeah.
And then go back in. So it's a little bit of, let's say, knowledge issue with the team on knowing how to pull them back out. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of size issue, because even if Jakob comes back in the next few days, it's not enough. We need a third guy.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He needs help. I mean, these guys just need a little bit more help. I mean, we lost so much defensive firepower and like just strength and size with these trades. And in some ways, the stuff that's coming in to fill that in is not there. You can't win in this league if you don't have the right size down low. That's just the damn truth.
Exactly.
And
that's why the OG trade had shocked me, because they had sent Precious with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, okay, you sent the other guy who was like similar to OG in the sense of size wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
and mobility. So then who was taking the place of those two?
Yeah.
You put it all on RJ. Well, RJ can't match them all, so.
Do you feel like the
Refresh that.
The spicy barbecue was good when we had Siakam just after the OG trade? Like that team kind of seemed like it could handle things okay with still Siakam here. But once Siakam was gone and Yaka was hurt, that is really glaring how bad the deficiency is around the rebounding and the down low kind of post defense.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, when it comes to Siakam no longer being here, you're expecting guys to instantly switch on, or at least the fan base is expecting guys to instantly switch on. No, you had a guy who was consistently doing it, and he disappeared. Who's going to step up consistently is a problem. You get RJ sometimes, and then you have to guess who else is going to come instead.
Yeah.
One day, Gary might show up.
Yeah.
And the other day, he may not show up, right? So it's like, this is why I didn't like the Siakam trade, because I think it was a year too early. Because you've got to okay, what we're seeing from Scotty is phenomenal. However, it is not consistent yet. We needed to see that be consistent with Pascal here.
Yeah.
And that's when you pass the torch. You don't pass the torch and say, yank out his only other support system, and then, it's all on you.
Yeah. I think
that's not right, because he hasn't even gotten to the level where we expect him to be first, and you yanked out the supporting cast.
Well, they're definitely the safety net for Scott, and in some ways he's working without a net anymore, and there's a lot more responsibility. We're hearing already people being more critical of Scotty because he's more like the person in the middle and the lightning rod. That's
remember they've always been critical even before that.
Yeah.
Now they've got even more reason to be amped up, because they're like, I'm expecting you to.
Well, they may turn on him more when they would have been more at Siakam or somebody else or Fred from before.
Exactly.
The big thing about this team is, like, Raptors fans got to realize we've had a brain drain to a degree in the last couple of years as far as Fred, OG, and Pascal. These guys have years of experience and a lot of time doing the things. And in some ways, we got guys that are doing it, starting over, and that's going to be part of the issue with right now. Is these guys were seasoned pros that did this stuff year in, year out, and they did it together. So they knew each other really well too. So this is part of what Greg's point is, that these things take time. It's just going to be something where it's going to take a time for us to happen. So
it's going to take time, but also front office have to have a dual plan for the team in general, in the sense of, okay, when you had the Pascal, DeLon, Powell, Fred, and yada, 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 they started up from the bench and moved up.
Yeah.
Right? The majority of them started from the bench and moved up, right? I mean, Pascal being the exception, OG being the exception.
It was like a noticeable wave of talent that came up through our organization from the 905 into our bench mob, into the starting lineup. And it kind of, like, that wave is symbolized by Fred. It kind of came right up on and over, and like his career arc kind of symbolizes that wave of that development period.
Right. So a bottom-up approach.
Yeah.
Then they get up there, but they kind of drop. This is what we've done. We've dropped the ball on the bottom-up approach. This is what they have to have a serious focus on, to say, okay, how do we maintain the bench going forward? How do we maintain the 905 going forward? They have to be there, because it's one thing that we won the championship. It's the other thing that the 905 has had coach moving out of that, for the last 2-3 years back to back. You know what I mean? So you lost your kind of development.
I agree. The development on the 905 has been subpar for pretty much like the last 4 years.
Exactly.
And in some ways, what we're talking about, could Marquise Noel kind of be that person like Fred, and kind of getting a group together and kind of saying, hey, we're coming up in the organization and we're going to cause waves. We're going to have everybody above us kind of worried because we're coming to take their jobs, and it will push competition, just like the bench mob did for the starters of Kyle and DeMar and Serge and Jonas back then. That kind of stuff can really, really push you towards a championship. And if there's anything we learned from that history of that and the development and stuff, that is that people like Marquise Noel, they get these guys together right on 905. Boom. All of a sudden we have a wave coming up like what Neil's talking about today. Yeah.
Right. But Marquise has to kind of visualize that. He has to kind of understand that vision. You know what I mean? Because
I think he does.
Well, he could also be under the vision of, I want to get into the NBA so badly, like I'm sitting here on the combo instead of being a full-time NBA guy. That drive to be a full-time NBA guy can be very strong. Right? I'm not going to call it a negative thing.
Well, they could be together, right? I don't think they compete with each other. Like, I think because of the nature of his position and being a point guard, he's going to be thinking about everybody around him and kind of like, I mean, that's what Fred's success was. He made a cohort with him and DeLon and Jakob and Pascal that if Marquise can key on guys around him in the G League and maybe even guys that are kind of like Grady, and say, these guys are going to be my cohort, and we're going to come up as a group just like Fred and those guys did before and try and mimic that. It may be that Marquise is kind of looking at Muhammadu and saying, yo, why don't you be my Siakam, man, and let's go get it.
You said the right guy.
Yeah.
You said the right guy. But I'll tell you something, though. Even though we're drawing the comparison between Fred and Marquise, it's still not the comparison.
Yeah.
Because Fred still came in on a full NBA contract.
No, not totally, though. I mean,
he came in undrafted, but he came in on a full. He didn't come in on a two-way.
I don't think we had two ways then. I don't think that
they didn't exist. Exactly.
They didn't exist. Yeah.
Right. But that two-way thing is a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
Because you could keep Marquise on that two-way for 3 years. 3 years to develop.
Yeah.
And then bring him in, or 2 years, and then bring him in fully.
Yeah.
Because if this is an investment, and Raptors are looking for a cheap way to invest guys, they have to properly utilize those two-way.
Yes, I completely agree.
Contracts.
I completely agree.
Like, put guys in there 3 years straight and say, you guys are going to know each other inside out. We're going to bring you in on the 4th year or the 3rd year.
Yeah. And, well, if he fast tracks.
You know what I mean? They should know each other so well. They say, hey, you're wearing dirty underwear today, buddy. You know what I mean?
Hey, I can smell it, man.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So they just need to, because that's the thing that's plaguing the team right now. You have so many guys playing together, but they don't know each other.
Right.
So how do we expect them to be successful?
Yeah.
They're going to need 1 to 2 years to gel.
In some ways,
these two-way accounts.
I really feel like the G League does not really benefit development in some ways, and it really is kind of a broken kind of idea and system. That there's some ways it needs to be kind of an overhaul or a change of like the philosophy of what the G League is doing and how you build your teams and stuff. I don't know.
I think it is, but I think it comes down to how you use it. The organization has to use it the right way. Right. Because instead of losing a guy, they can stash him there, because sometimes they were stashing guys overseas.
Right.
So you can stash him right here in the gym.
And actually have them working with your own people. Yeah.
Right? So you hire the guy for 3 years and the person gets better, but now you can do 3. So now you can really, because 2 was kind of rough.
Yeah.
You really need to have a set of guys who know each other.
Like
right?
a collective.
2 is not enough.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did 3. Shoot, I'll even take 4 if they could do it. Right?
Yeah. I mean, the Players Association would too, but I don't know if the owners would.
Actually, it's not the owners. The owners would love it. It's the players because the players are trying to say, hey, give me a full contract, right? But think about it this way. Here's why the 905 is good or the G League is good. You got these guys coming out of school and they're skipping.
Yeah, and they don't know what they're doing.
Right, and they're not getting time to develop.
They need the G League.
Okay, so they need it, because how are you going to get that skill if you're sitting at the end of the bench and you're not getting time?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to be going overseas.
Yeah.
But if we utilize the G League the right way, get 3 guys on that, we can say, okay, we can put time into it, and we can afford to let you grow now.
Right.
Right. So this is why you say, okay, the projects sit on the 905, and the guys who look more promising, we'll keep them at 13, 14 position or whatever.
Right.
Because you still need your vets, right? I don't even want to say 15th position.
Yeah.
I really do believe in vets.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
I don't have a problem with the way the Raptors have brought in vets.
Yeah.
I will support the Raptors on that, and I'll continue to support them on that. You have some people saying, "Oh, why do you have this guy there? Why do you have?" Of course, you have that guy there because you're trying to stabilize the locker room.
Yeah. Teach people.
We can't have all that chaos.
Teach people how to be a pro. Teach people how to do things correctly. As far as like the traditions, some of those traditions may be getting amended and changed with the young generation, but for the most part, it's good to have the old book from like before, like somebody like Thad Young, Garrett Temple, telling you guys, well, this is how we've done it in the past. In some ways, you need people like that around. So,
hey, knowledge flows down; it never flows up.
well, I mean, it depends. It depends. Some ways there's an astute genius in a 4-year-old. You could listen to a 4-year-old kid and they may say something to you, be like, holy crap, you just like changed my perspective on life just because it's so simple.
When it comes on to basketball and the industry,
Yeah.
it has to flow down because
Yeah.
you can have a prodigy there.
Yeah.
Vince was a prodigy, but he still needed a vet.
Yeah.
Right? A vet can look at it and say, "Oh, Vince, you're doing amazing stuff. I can't even do that."
Yeah.
Okay, that's because you're a prodigy. You've got this athleticism that I, as a vet, may not have that same athleticism.
Right.
And time is going against me. But what I have in my head, you don't have that yet.
Right.
I'm going to share it with you. Because the other thing is, when a person is young, sometimes a person can be a little bit too caught up in things.
I would say that they could be a little ignorant to the fact that there's stuff that they don't actually know. Like sometimes we come up and we just we're it's not that we're cocky or arrogant. It's just that we kind of like have a sense of like, well, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. But there may be blind spots that they don't totally necessarily see.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You got to experience life, right? But
yeah.
If you've grown up and you haven't seen everything.
No. And sometimes it's better for you to not make the same mistakes that like Garrett Temple or Otto Porter Jr. did in their career if you can avoid it. So, Neil, I really appreciate you calling in today. Blackhawk, a great Raptor freak, somebody who's come to our meet and greets. And man, I'm so happy to hear your voice today. I hope you'll call in when we do this regularly this summer.
I'll try. I got to keep it under the radar. I got to, punch the keyboard.
Oh, yeah. See, okay, so he's actually on the clock. You go, Neil. You're awesome, man. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling, man. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you many times in the future on the show in the future, my man. All right, Neil. Blackhawk holding it down, taking a break from the Twitter toxic, but still a super positive Raptors freak, taking care of good things, holding it down, doing it the right way. I love it. I love all the different calls today. Really, really good calls today. I love it. All right, let me read these comments. I may get 4 hours today. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let me see what else you guys are saying. All right, I'm at Fiercely saying dab the race mode. Milbester saying our schedule coming up is crazy. Looks like I've got another call. Hang on. All right, let's see what we got. Caller, you're on the air.
What's up, bitches?
Who is this?
Okay, let's do this. Okay, I write with a capital every friggin' time I write a word.
Okay, a capital. You write with the capital letters?
Every beginning of the word.
Okay. That's what
Come on, man.
listen, you got to give me a little bit better clue. I do write trivia questions and stuff, and I know what a good clue is, and I don't know if that's the best clue. Give me a little bit more of a discerner or a thing.
Okay. My wrist hurts from slamming the ball too much.
Okay, so Kareem is here. I have not. I should have remembered his voice. This is Kareem Thomas, y'all, because he is the dunk champion. My buddy. Yeah, how you been, man? You doing good?
I'm good, man. I just working, doing the regular 9 to 5 like everybody else.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I know I'm kind of like late coming to the party, but I'm pretty sure everybody's already said everything that he said. But I think I want to talk about really quickly about the growth and who my growth is.
Sure.
So during the science presser, I didn't realize that Pascal was the
Pastoral.
Yeah,
that
does that mean he's supposed to be like a pastor, becoming a pastor?
Well, this is part of the confusion about it, and this is the truth of it. And a lot of people are confused about this. He was never ever going to become a priest. That was not his plan. It's just that he was going to a religious school that was taught at a seminary, and the priests teach him. But he wasn't actually going there. His plans were not to become a religious man himself. It's just that his schooling option was going to be going to a seminary, and yeah, everybody has a misconception that if Pascal had not became an NBA player, that he was going to be a priest, but that is not true. He was just going to be going to a religious school, and he may have had more like kind of a path in his life like his dad. I don't know if people know, but Pascal's dad was the head of the TTC in Cameroon. Like he was the head of the transportation department in that country, and he helped build like their transportation over there. So I could see Siakam going to that school. I don't know if he'd do exactly what his dad was doing, but it wasn't that he had a career in religion ahead of him. That's actually a misnomer. People get that confused when they just hear that, oh, he's going to go to pastoral school. He's going to become a priest. But he was very clear in an interview that that wasn't his intention. It was just that that was the school he was going to go back to, is basically. Yeah.
Okay, so that does make sense, because like I was gonna go off of that and just talk about how he's like so dedicated. But now that you just debunked my whole story, like hey,
I'm sorry, man. I mean,
well, I will say he is still my growth.
Yeah.
Particularly for the fact because we almost brought him in like as a child. Like we groomed him so well. Especially like you can tell by his achievements in the G League, and then you just see them getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Now, like I love Kyle Lowry. Like I was so hurt when DeMar DeRozan got traded, and obviously the whole Vince Carter fiasco, and Marcus Camby, and Chris Bosh, and like David Stoudemire, like all the way from the beginning.
Yeah.
But I just never connected as much as I did when I found out that Pascal got traded last week.
Yeah.
I almost lost my shit. I was like, fuck Toronto. I was like, fuck the Raptors. Fuck everybody. Like, you guys fucked up. And you know what? To be honest, I still think they did.
Yeah.
But
I could tell your energy is different. I could tell your energy was different in the last couple weeks since the Siakam trade. I could tell.
I was so pissed, and it's just like I'm walking on a fine line here, because like I swear I want the Raptors to basically do good. But at the same time, I want them to really see Pascal's value. What he brings to the team.
Yeah.
So like I'm so on the fence, because like I want them to like really lose like a good few games.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, like this is exactly why you needed Pascal in the building.
Yeah. You want a told you so kind of thing.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going by my vibes and how I felt over the past week, I just knew that Pascal is definitely my growth, because I never felt so connected with a player who, at the end of the day, just did so right by the organization.
Yeah.
He wasn't a huge vocal leader, but you can tell like the way he practiced is always the first one to jet, is always the last one to leave. Like you hear those stories all the time, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like and then you notice that it progresses onto the court, like onto the real game. But you know, the all-star, all-NBA, you know, most player. Like there's just so much accolades that that he's accomplished, and he only started basketball when he was 17 or something like that. Like I love that story, you know. And
I feel like
because between him and Fred VanVleet, who came in the same year, I feel like both those guys just had motives, right? And they knew what they wanted to. It's like they sat together through this whole process, and it seemed like they were like just best friends. They know what they wanted to accomplish, and they didn't stop until they accomplished.
Yeah. I think that in some ways, when you're talking about a growth conversation, accolades are very important. And in some ways, Kyle's accolades compared to Pascal's are kind of the same. I mean, Kyle has more all-stars, but that may be the only thing that he has over Siakam, because Kyle doesn't have any all-NBA. And Kyle's not a most improved player. In some ways, you could argue whether who was the second banana to Kawhi in the championship year. Both could make a valid argument for both of them. But if you're really looking at accolades, in some ways, you can make a very good case that Pascal Siakam is the greatest Raptor of all time.
Yeah, definitely. And what tops it off to me is obviously just because we drafted him. You know what I mean? Like, it's not somebody we brought in.
Yeah.
It's somebody we drafted, right?
Yeah.
So,
Kyle came from somewhere else. He was kind of a reclamation project because of his attitude. He came around and then boom, a huge, crazy, incredible success story, Mr. Raptor. But in some ways, I mean, listen, Siakam was always with us. He was completely homegrown, came from nowhere, is an amazing, astounding success story in the NBA, and one that deserves a biopic someday. That's what I would say. It's like, in some ways, I've said this recently. If there's some people in the NBA that deserve some biopics at some point, I don't know if they'll ever get made because people may not be interested in them. But Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, and Masai Ujiri all need to have movies made about their lives, because all three of them, even though the stories may intertwine, maybe there's stories in one movie. Maybe they do a movie about the Toronto Raptors championship team, and they tell the stories of each of the players that it made up and how they intertwined to get to the point where they won. They could do a whole part about Kawhi in San Antonio. They could talk about the whole thing about Masai making the decision to trade DeMar and doing that. There would be high drama. I know some people will say, well, there's Open Gym, Lex. Just fucking watch Open Gym. But if they made a dramatic reenactment of the whole thing and how it came together, trading for Mark, having Serge's story involved in it, having, everybody who is key to it get a part in the movie where it gets talked about, I think that would be a really special media piece that was made and something really dear to Raptors fans if they did actually go and make this.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000% agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you too long because I know you've been freaking streaming forever. Quick shout out to Katie Cowboy. Obviously, you, Lex, for doing this every single fucking day. I don't know how you do it, bro, but I am glad that I've subscribed to you. I'm glad that I get to hear your voice and your emotions, and I'm just glad to be on this ride with you. Also, shout out to whoever else is in the chat. But yeah, again, I just want to, bow down to you for your commitment.
Listen, no, don't do that. Listen, I love you, man. I've loved that I've gotten to meet you in the last year in person and get to see you and meet you in person. That's been awesome. And listen, in some ways, what you said earlier, Kareem, is that you've been turned off from watching the team because you're disgruntled about the Siakam trade and that it's made you upset. Now, if we weren't doing this channel every day, in some ways, if you were just spinning in your own world and not really tethered to us in some ways, you may be even more upset with the team. And in some ways, I'm glad that we're here as a family to kind of keep together, even when things are kind of like, I'm pissed off because DeMar's traded, or I'm pissed off because Pascal's traded. In some ways, us keeping organized helps us to keep things in a good, healthy place. And I love you, man. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. And you're absolutely right about that, because honestly, if there was no Raptors Freak channel, I'd be fucking going off the hinges on everybody. And I've noticed that Neil's not in the Twitter spaces right now because I understand he's probably pissed off too, or he's trying to, gather himself or whatever. So I didn't notice that about Neil. Neil's like the king of positivity. So
there you go. I love that you guys are doing that stuff on there. Cool Cat, Kareem, Neil, Blackhawk. You guys are fighting the good fight in the very dark place, and I appreciate it. And honestly, you guys, to me, in some ways, like what Neil was saying earlier, and I know you're the same way on there because you're very active in the Zazu spaces, is in some ways, I don't want to equate this in any kind of way, and I'm not trying to be disparaging, but in some ways, you guys are like war heroes to me. You really are. You're the people that go in there in the places where people don't want to go in, and you try and be the voice of reason. And there's all kinds of toxicness in there. In some ways, you're fighting a battle that I have so much admiration and respect for you guys to do. And I know it's not easy, and there is a lot of childish shit going on in there, I'm sure.
Oh, fuck. It's crazy out there, man. It is crazy out in those spaces, man. So it's just better off that, everybody just temper away from it for a while.
Yeah.
And, once the team starts gelling and stuff like that, which it may take a while, then kind of dip back into it. But right now, it is fucking time.
That's right. It's a good time to take a break. Let's just put it that way.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, KT. Listen, I know you're going to get back on top of the dunk hill very soon. I know you will. Fiercey's temporarily got your lead right now. What?
Oh, geez.
Listen, I was telling myself before the stream, I said, if anybody brings up the Kobe Bryant anniversary, I'm going to deduct 5 points for them. And then you just happened to jump in it. I said that before I was going to do it. It's like, if anybody says it, I'm demeriting them. So.
It's all good. But at the same time, I kind of was like, I wasn't really poking fun at the Raptors. I was kind of just like, oh, it's almost like a memorable mention that Kobe, because he's dead and stuff like that. I was just kind of like, yeah, this is like a Kobe game for the Raptors, like one game.
I know.
But I understand exactly where you're
Listen.
going.
In some ways, it maybe wasn't fair. In some ways, maybe I'm Ben Tayloring LeBron James the opposite way right now.
All right.
Listen, I want to give it competition because you blew everybody away last year. In some ways, you losing the 5 points for that, in some ways, is just giving other people a fair chance. But I think you're going to be fine either way. Just knowing your sense of humor and your wit, you're going to be fine, I'm sure. All right, Kareem.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I am bowing to you, my man, because I love you, man. I appreciate you being such a great, positive Raptor freak, even though you're not happy about the Siakam trade. And I will say this. The Siakam trade is not for now. We're going to feel the good things about it in the future. And that will be the time when we can come back around and say, you know what, man, actually this trade did end up being pretty good because look at the people we got as of it. And that's what we'll look at.
I love the nucleus. I love what we have.
Yeah.
I do. I just, it's like the way I was thinking about the trade is like, I want to see I want to see some returns like immediately.
Right. No, I get it. And that's part of the reason why the New York trade is so much more fun and better than the Indiana trade. We got to be patient with the Pascal trade because those picks and things that happen from that, and even the Bruce Brown move, if we make it, that will show more the returns on the Siakam thing. We didn't get them immediately. It's like we put them on for later, and they'll be coming. All right, my man.
Okay, thanks a lot, man.
You're welcome. Let's trust in Masai and let's just keep going, Kareem. I love you. Dunk champion, 2023 dunk champion of the Raptor Free channel, Kareem Thomas, on the phone with me today. Awesome.
Thank you, Lex. And shout out to everybody in the group. Love you guys.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. Kareem getting the call in at the last second at the buzzer. I love it so much. That's awesome. All right, let me see. Sonny's saying Danny Green was talking about it with Harrison in their podcast. They said it's a good move for the Raptors and they can be the next OKC. So Danny Green's saying that we're the next OKC. Sonny's also saying, Darko is going to be on the Raptors show today with William Lou and Blake. That should be interesting. That's a good heads up, Sonny Mahal. I appreciate that information. Milbester's going to give us a little bit more Knicks stuff before I get off the air. Not too much, Milbester. Come on now. Barclays Center was an away game for the Nets and Knicks fans taking over the arena. Mikal Bridges got booed when making free throws in his press conference on the game. Laugh out loud. Knicks want him. Yeah, of course. He's a Villanova player, right? He's supposed to be on y'all's team. If he's a Villanova Wildcat, he should be playing with Brunson and Hart and DiVincenzo, right? Milbester saying also, Mikal wanted to be a Knick on draft night, and they drafted Kevin Knox, while the Sixers traded him on draft night to the Suns, and it led to the Nets KD trade, but Mikal is the missing pieces, maybe a trade pickup. I'm sure y'all will somehow, some way acquire your complete set of Villanova players somehow, some way. Of course, you have the favor of the NBA head office in your hometown, and they very much do like to help y'all. So I wouldn't put it past the NBA figuring out some sort of way, weird way of Mikal Bridges being on the New York Knicks in the future. Yeah. Fun guy saying, to be fair, Blackhawk, you got to take risks of injury in play if you're 100% going to deal Siakam. You can't let him get injured, expire going into offseason. Yeah, I could see that. Then Sonny's saying, update from IQ from Josh is quickly has a right thigh contusion. He's out tomorrow, but will travel with the team. Happened during last game, and it's been sore this week. Okay. So quickly is going to be out tomorrow. Of course, he should travel with the team after that game because it's a long road trip, being away because the NHL All-Star game is in Toronto next week, and the building will need to be empty for NHL events. So the Raptors are going on the road because of that this week coming up, just so y'all know. Fiercey saying spicy barbecue was very good. It was phenomenal with yak available. I believe they should have at least waited a month or so before the Siakam move. I think that they needed to do it when they did it because they needed the time before the deadline. And that's not like that deadline's like far away. That deadline is like within the first 13 days of February. So we're getting closer. In fact, we're about 2 weeks before the deadline comes. And if they want to move Bruce Brown still, they've got to have time to figure it out. Carlos saying we have to find that spicy replacement. Any young 6'9" sturdy with a motor we can get and should target. Well put, race mode. All right. There we go. I like that. Hang on. Yeah, well, you guys really filled it up again on this. Interesting. Let's see. Milbester saying, Lex, what do you think of Mikal Bridges' situation in the Nets? I just said it. You guys are probably going to get him. That's what I'll say right there. Looking at Chris, Kareem, what's up? Milbester saying Nets did a documentary that came out on their YouTube channel yesterday on Mikal Bridges' life and his road as a basketball player from high school to Villanova and NBA. His mom was a single mom in Malvern, Pennsylvania. I don't care. I do not care, Milbester. It's a beautiful documentary on his life, and his mom is an amazing woman, single mom raising Mikal and Jay Wright, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't care. Monique has given me a chat cutoff. A little bit too late. I wish you'd cut off. Oh, no, you're not too late. Maybe cut off Milbester earlier. Basketball Rewind saying, is there going to be more call-ins on the future? Yes, there will be. Our new segment for Thursdays in the offseason will be the Thursday Think Tank, which is what we're doing today. Every Thursday will be a call-in show this summer, Kenyon, just so you know. Now, to be able to call in, you're going to need to have my phone number. And if you have it already because of just issues where we talked before, you can call me that way. Or if you're a member of the channel, you can call. It's not just for subscribers. This is going to be a special thing for people that are actually members of the channel or people that are already in our Facebook group on the Facebook group. They'll have access to the number also. But yeah, we will do call-ins more in the future. And but it's not open to just anyone. You have to be kind of ensconced in the membership and regular on the channel to call in. If you become a member, you can get access to the phone number, is basically what I'll say. Fiercely saying at Milbester, Mikal went on a podcast and called OG a role player. That was out of pocket, so I don't like him. I was happy the Knicks beat him in the Nets this week. There you go. There you go. I like what Fiercey's saying. I back it up. Basketball Rewind saying OG is a role player. He's an elite role player, but he's a role player. 98% of the entire NBA is role players. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of apropos. I mean, it's really how you want to just use the word or the term. If you want to use it as a derogatory term and say that role player is a bad thing, yeah, maybe it can be kind of an insult. But in some ways, Kenyon's right also. Everybody's mostly a role player. I mean, even the franchise players that have the big time, you could say in some ways Scotty's a role player. Everybody's a role player. Giannis is a role player. They have roles. They play them. But I get like where Fiercey's mad because it seemed like he was slighting OG and trying to say, oh, he's just a role player. Like it's an insult. So it's really kind of the weight and the way they say it where we get the interpretation. Milbester saying in the documentary when Mikal was, all right, I don't care, Milbester. Why are you showing up at the end of my streams and just filling it up with useless New York stuff? I don't care about New York stuff, buddy. I've told you, you're probably going to get Mikal Bridges. You'll be good. You'll be good. Kyle saying, or a Basketball Rewind saying, Kyle was a third-team All-NBA for your information. Third-team at All-NBA once at one point. Okay, well, thanks for fact-checking me, Van Hoot. But I don't think he was as high up with the accolades as far as Siakam getting to, what was it, second-team All-NBAs? So, I mean, yeah, Kyle got one. All right, we could look at the resumes, but I like this argument about who the greatest Raptor of all time is. I think that Pascal's closer to Kyle than anybody else. Of course, other people are going to bring in Vince, they're going to bring in Kawhi, they're going to bring in other people. But to me, it's really only two people you should talk about when you're talking about greatest Raptor of all time. And it's either Lowry or Siakam. That's to me, yeah. Let's see. Carlos asking Kenyon, any targets for OG or Pascal replacements? Yeah, maybe ask him on his show, Carlo. Maybe ask him on his show. Country Kong saying Kyle Lowry was third-team All-NBA in 2016, Lex. Also, he was a 6-time All-Star compared to Pascal's 2. It's in the decisive Game 6 of the NBA Finals on the road. He got the Raptors rolling, scoring 11 points straight. See, we're getting the Kyle stands to make the counter argument to Kareem and I as far as saying maybe Pascal's the GOAT. Well, this would be a whole good Thursday think tank this summer to introduce ourselves to this debate. for a whole show, but I'm already almost at 4, so we're not going to open it up right now. But we will definitely do this debate at some point. Who is the real GOAT? Sometime this summer, we will for sure. All right. If you talking about Mikhail, I'm not going to read it, Milbester. It's not important to me. Yeah. Let's see. Basketball Rewind Santa Carlo. We need to build up our pipeline of prospects and invest in that first. Okay. Highly recommend that documentary, is Milbester saying. Okay. No more comments, Milbester. That's what Monique's saying. Monique, you're awesome. I love you. Fun guy saying, I feel like that's why Mo put the cutoff, because Milbester going crazy with the Mikhail documentary, laughing my ass off. Yeah, no, seriously, the mods are here for a reason. My cutoff is usually, I'm not supposed to talk after noon. It is 1:10, y'all. I went longer because it's the new call-in format, and I just wanted to explore having different people call in. We've had like 6 people call today, and each call has been fantastic. I've enjoyed every single one of them. But I don't want to be going on about the New York Knicks and the Nets for the last little bit of my stream, Milbester. So please respect the cutoff from our moderators, Isaac Campbell, Seymour Pape, Monique Lawrence. They are putting them there for a reason. And if y'all want to talk on my chat, y'all have to come earlier. And really, nobody should be able to comment after 11 a.m. And y'all are commenting after 1 p.m. right now. So just so y'all know, don't show up late and try and just fill it up. I don't want to see this shit. If you don't come here before 11, don't comment on my stream, is what I'm going to say. Van Hoot saying, we are in a new era of Raptors basketball. Look fondly at the past, look forward to the future. Will be a long time, but that's okay. The journey is fun part. I don't think this will be that long, but I like your sentiment, Kenyon. I think this is right. Look fondly at the past, look forward to the future. I'm all about that. You say it'll be a long time, but I don't agree with that. I think we're going to get back quicker. No Tracy McGrady? No, he's not in the GROAT conversation. And Kareem's giving me the big letters now. Awesome stream, Lex. ASL, age, sex, location. I don't want to have to give you my age, sex, or location. Let's see. And yeah, we're not reading that, and we're not reading that. It's all good, Milbester. We love you. And we love you coming in and giving your little updates. But please, if it's later in the stream, don't add any more, please. That's all I'm going to say. All right, I was going to do more of these Instagram stories, but it's not worth it at this point. It sees Emmanuel had a good time at Sick Kids last night, even if he's hurt. And we see Darko with the kids also, and his great donation. That's fantastic. Dennis Schroeder also at Sick Kids last night with a great picture of him shaking hands with a kid. So much good stuff going on with philanthropy with the Raptors team. And yeah, there's some other stuff in Instagram stories, but it's not worth it. Right now, I'm just going to sign off. I appreciate everybody being a participant in today's Thursday Think Tank call-in show. Big success. I really appreciate everybody calling. Fantastic stuff from here and from all of you guys. Really, really fun. And I look forward to doing more of this format in the future and hearing more of your voices and more of your opinions this summer on the new Thursday Think Tank call-in show. All right, y'all, I'm going to out of here. Tomorrow we'll have a preview for the Clippers game, the LA Clippers game here in Toronto against our Raptors. I'll have the ref report, all the latest lineup news, and all the pertinent information for you to set you up for watching the Clippers game tomorrow night. All right, y'all, please like, comment, subscribe, and join. If you join, you get access to the call-in show. It's basically what it is. I wish you luck against the Nuggets. I'm kind of half and half with you guys. In some ways, I'll root for the Nuggets against y'all because they're the champs. And I do like Jamal Murray. He's Team Canada, and I like him. I don't know. In some ways, I'm rooting for OG. I'm rooting for Jamal. I'm rooting for both sides. And whoever wins, may the best team win. How about that, Milbester? I can't give you full-on rooting for you. You're not playing the Celtics. The Nuggets are a team I don't mind. I respect them. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors. And I will see y'all tomorrow early in the morning, 9:30, around that time. All right. I appreciate y'all. Let's go. Thanks for calling.